Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Late Night Boxing Talks. I'm Julius. I'll be your host for this evening, and I'm here to laugh at people and make fun of them because they're too afraid to jump on this panel and join me live. They know they will be embarrassed if they do. How are you doing on this fine evening? Just gonna post a link for the people on Twitter. Late Night Boxing Talks starts now. The Fury fans have become more and more adamant in the days after the fight's collapse how much they needed Anthony Joshua. And it's evident because they're still talking about Anthony Joshua. Like, I got some fucking loser. He just tagged me to some post on Twitter, and I'm like, if Fury's that big a draw, and you're happy to see him get out there because he's just such a big draw, he moves the needle so much, why would you still be talking about a dude that's coming off 2 losses? Like, the only place you can have those kinds of ridiculous arguments is on social media because people don't realize how stupid they sound. I got Base in the building. Yo, nobody click this link, bro, all right? I only want Base to click the link, all right? I don't need 10 people in the background. I need Base to click the link, all right? And yeah, it's stupid, you know? Like, if Fury is so well off and he's in such a power position, there's no reason that his fans should be harping about Anthony Joshua. You shouldn't even be worried about him because he's coming off 2 losses and he has no belts. But it's the insecurity. It's like the fans of the fighter almost reflect everything about the fighter. The Fury is a very insecure person. Because they're playing like a stupid game where we're not supposed to have any common sense. They're like, fam, the only reason you offer Joshua to fight, if anything, is because you know that he brings value to the fight, that he doesn't need a belt to sell. You know, this is the UK fight fans we talking about. That's the reason that Chisora's still around selling tickets, because you don't actually need a belt to sell. He could still be in good fights with no belt. Base, what's rocking with you?
Cool, man. It's late over here, so I'm getting my bed soon. But what's good?
Well, you know, man. I mean, I got like the last couple of I'm gonna say the last week. All the Fury fans, you know, it's almost like they've been trying to pick fights with people online because I've noticed it, but I haven't played into it because I'm like, look, Fury's gonna fight Chisora again, right? I may or may not watch that fight. It obviously won't be a pay-per-view here in America, but it might be a pay-per-view in the United Kingdom. You being a Brit, what is the probability of that fight being billed as a pay-per-view?
99.999%.
Are you going to buy this pay-per-view?
Hell fucking no.
Do you like Tyson Fury?
No, but that's not why I'm gonna not buy the pay-per-view.
All right, why aren't you going to purchase this box office fight involving what is the number 1 heavyweight in the world?
Because it's not a fight that's interesting. It has no conclusion outside of Tyson Fury probably stopping Derek Chisora for the 2nd time in a row.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
There's no outcome in it's going to be any different. I mean, yes, he got a decent, if not disputed, win against Pulev, because quite frankly, I had Pulev winning that fight. I won't lie. Yes, he did get screwed on some people's cards in the first Parker fight, although I actually think Parker just did enough to nick it, because Chisora likes to, you know, go walkabouts from time to time, but got soundly out punched, beat up in the 2nd fight. His punch resistance gone, like, against someone who may be like, you know, someone like Wilder that's economical and is just looking for the one punch, you might be able to just keep him on his back foot. Someone like Fury is just going to do what Fury does, whether he wants to move around, whether he wants to just line you up like he did with Dillian. It's not going to end any different to the last fight. So there's absolutely no reason to watch that. If it was just a regular BT Sports thing, yeah, I'd probably check it out. But as a pay-per-view, you want me to pay for something that you know is not box office worthy? No, I'm all right.
All right, now let me address this. Caesar, you already know why I don't bring up the meat and the thing. Because what you want to do is make excuses for a fighter you like, whereas I don't make excuses for anyone. I don't make excuses for Conor Benn. I don't make excuses for Oscar Valdez or Luis Ortiz or Alexander Povetkin or Lucas Brown or anybody who tests positive for a banned substance, including Canelo. You are naive. You don't want to accept that most of the sport, if not all of it, is dirty. But if you're going to ask me why I don't make excuses, well, that's why I don't make excuses. That's why I don't bring that shit up, because that shit is not important. Do I believe that shit? No, I don't. I believe he was doping the same way I believe most fighters at the elite level are doping. My views on doping have changed over the years. The sheer number of fighters, high profile, low profile, leads me to believe that most of the sport is doping. Anyone from Ryan Martin to Canelo Alvarez to Tyson Fury. You want to look at the sport like a little kid to where, no, my favorite fighter is Queen. You could believe that if you want to. Just don't impose your views on me, because I don't impose my views on you. I don't tell anybody to come here. I can only tell you what I think. And I think most of the sport is doping. So don't ask me rhetorical questions.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's silly. It's like you if you want to view the sport like a child, then you can view it like a child. That's your prerogative. I'm not telling you to believe what I believe. You're trying to force me to believe what you believe because you believe the cover story. Everybody has a fantastic fucking explanation why there's a banned substance in their system. Luis Ortiz says he ate horse meat. Tyson Fury said he ate boar balls. Canelo ate some tainted carnitas from the chimichurri truck. Everybody has a fantastic fucking excuse. Excuse me if I don't believe them. No, I think they're all doping. That's what I believe. Canelo, Tyson Fury, all of them. I believe they're all doping. And if they're all doping, I'm not pigeonholing him. I'm saying I think they're all doping. All of them. Canelo included. That doesn't mean he can't box. He's a great boxer. The disconnect is they treat it as if I'm saying that, oh, the only reason he's winning is because he's doping. No, it's like super soldier serum. It can only amplify what you already have.
Very true. You know what? The only one, right, that I actually believe on the first, forget the second one, because obviously Dillian White was exonerated on the second one. It was proved that there was a contamination in his UCAD test. But the very first one, when he actually got banned for 2 years, that's the only one where I feel as if he should have been exonerated. There was a reason why whatever was in his system, just because of the whole Jack 3D. It wasn't on the ban list, then it's on there a week later, and you just happen to get tested
But
in the
you know
time
the
when
thing
you jump
is,
on.
I want you to pay attention to something, Bass, and I want you to use your Capricorn powers. You'll notice that Chris Eubank Sr. isn't raising a stink over the Peds. He's not. Why? My guess, as a Capricorn and a genius and a good-looking guy, I believe he's not harping about Peds because he knows all about Peds. He probably used them in the past. That's why he's not harping about the Peds. He's harping about the catch weight. Remember, he's actually going up to bat for Conor Benn, saying he's an innocent, pure boy. I don't hear him saying nothing about the Peds. Why? Guilty conscience. You can't seriously sit there and do that. You can't seriously, knowing what you know. And the sport knows. So that's why I said in the video I did that boxing fans and the industry itself, there's an uncomfortable, inconvenient truth they don't want to address. It's an uncomfortable conversation because, well, it reflects poorly on everyone, the fans included. It reflects poorly on the promoters and the managers and the fighters, pretending that they care about the safety and well-being of each other when they all know that they don't. If you ingest a pet or you know someone that does and you don't blow the whistle, okay, you're complicit. If you're a manager and you're a promoter and you've known about these things but you didn't say anything, okay, you're complicit. If you've ever had a fighter fighting on your card that did test for a banned substance in the past but you decided to work with them anyway, you're complicit. Simple. I don't look at it with blinders on. I take it for what it is. And based on everything I've seen as a boxing fan for the last, 3 fucking decades, I think the whole sport is dirty. But I'm okay with that because if they're all on Peds, it's like none of them are on Peds.
Yeah. I mean, for my own channel's sake, I won't agree or disagree. I'm starting to get some good numbers. I don't want those to go back down. So, but I do understand where you're coming from, and you know what? It's a very sound logic. That's what I'm going to say to that.
Yeah, I used to get up in arms about it until I looked at all the names that get popped in boxing and how pretty much every organized sport, even professional wrestling, involves using controlled substances, even professional wrestling, which is scripted. All right. So people need to grow up and wake up and realize that for the most part, postmodern boxing, we're not talking about Ali era, Liston era, Dempsey, Marciano. We're not talking about all that. Talking about everything in the last 20 or 30 years. Yeah, there have been peds, bro. All-time great fighters. Fighters that you like Roy Jones and James Toney and Canelo Alvarez or Tyson Fury, if you like him. They've all tested positive for banned substances. So it can't be a coincidence that at every level of the sport, you see this. Whether you're talking about someone as unknown as a Ryan Martin or someone as well known as a Tyson Fury. It's not a coincidence. I think they're all on it to some degree. They all use different stuff. The promoters have a don't ask, don't tell policy because they don't want to seem complicit, even though in many ways they are. The commissions are leaking information to rival promotional outfits for corporate espionage, profiteering for them, espionage for the promoters, because I firmly believe Frank Warren is behind this. I firmly believe it. It's not a coincidence that it came out today on Daily Mail that, oh yeah, yeah, we knew about it. We knew about another test that he failed. Oh, you knew about it. It's funny that you have so much to say all of a sudden. It's just funny how all of it happens. What I believe is happening is they want to nail Eddie Hearn to the wall because he's getting a little bit too big. Yeah, Joshua may be done. Maybe he's washed up by 2023. Shout out to my man Beats. He put that out there as a possibility that maybe Joshua and Wilder jointly will both be washed up in the coming year, a distinct possibility. And Eddie Hearn already had his foot in the door with a future prize stallion in Conor Benn. And I think that, yeah, there are people that don't want to see that happen. There are people that want to ruin that because that kid did. I don't know what's going to happen to him now because he has an uphill battle. But yeah, Eddie already had the future planned out and the present planned out for Matchroom. And I'm sorry to say this, Tyson Fury's fans hate to hear this, but no, Frank can't compete. What the fuck do you have, bro? Besides Tyson Fury and Raven Chapman, who I love. But being real, in terms of doing big shows, what you got? What you got, Archie Sharp? What you got?
Nothing. You can't even, as bad as this might sound, you can't even put Anthony Yard in there.
You can't put Anthony Yard in there because he's cannon fodder for Artur Beterbiev right now. The best thing that could happen is Anthony winning the fight. If Anthony wins the fight in January, then yeah, now you're cooking with rice. But right now, that dude ain't nobody. That dude have about as much marquee value as Joshua Buatsi. And Joshua Buatsi's not a huge name, and neither is Anthony Yard.
I will be going to that Yard Beterbiev fight though. I need to see that up close.
I need you to retrieve one of Artur's chest hairs. We're trying to clone him because he's getting old. We need another Artur. So just see if you can't get one of that guy's chest hairs, and we can splice it in the lab and clone him. We need another.
I'll see what I can do. He's an honorary Capricorn, right?
He is
honorary.
He is an honorary. He's an Aquarius, actually. They have great.
He is, but his birthday was the 21st, and we cut off on the 20th. And so that means he was marinated in Capricorn juices and he just held on a day too long. So he's an honorary Capricorn.
Well, listen, Sebastian Fundora is a Capricorn. Delphine Pursoon is a Capricorn. Raven Chapman is a Capricorn. We out here, bro. We are out here, okay? They can't fuck with us. We like the Yankees of the shit. We already got the most chips. We don't need to win more. We need to let y'all catch up. You know what I mean? We like the Yankees of this motherfucking shit. All right, you motherfuckers? Shout out to my man Jay. But yeah, I think a lot of times I say that, and Tyson Fury's fans, because I noticed that a good number of them are following me on Twitter, and they want to argue. And it's like, listen, I'm not saying it to be funny because I actually think Frank Warren is hilarious. I love his interviews because he's just such a dry old fuck. He's just funny. I like Frank, but I'm being honest. In terms of a stable, you don't have shit. You have Joe Joyce, Tyson Fury, and my personal favorite, my favorite fighter on the whole stable, Raven Chapman. You don't have a stable that rivals Eddie's. You don't have as big a platform as Ben Shalom's on Sky. You not fucking with him. And that is why a part of me feels that all these different things that are happening in this heat, a part of it has something to do with Frank Warren because he's trying to sabotage Eddie Hearn to regain some kind of ground, some kind of footing in the UK. Because all you really have in terms of a draw is Tyson Fury, and he's not that big a draw, not by himself. You can't put Fury in there with a fucking Pulev and get a box office fight. You know that. You can't put him in there with a Povetkin. Like, Anthony Joshua fought Povetkin at the box office. They did good numbers with that shit, man. They did. They did good numbers with that shit. Could Fury have done those numbers with an unknown Russian? No. Can he do them now? No. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to revisit Derek Chisora. What do you think? They bumped into that fucking guy by accident? They're picking him because they know he has fans. Because he just fought. Because he's coming off a win.
And Fury said he was gonna fight him about 3 years ago. So that was part of the 5-fight plan that he had.
Yeah, but so was Thor Bjornsson and Francis Ngannou and.
Well, no, that was a separate plan. That was separate.
It's just that what he says now to me means absolutely nothing. Like, it just has no value. Like, bro, you say anything, and out of the 10 things you say, one thing will be true. Does that make you a truth teller? No, not if you had to lie 10 times. He says like 10 different things. Only one of them is true. That just means you're still a bullshitter 9 times out of 10.
No, that's very true, but I always knew that he was going to fight Chisora for a third time. That was the one thing that he said that I thought, yep, that's going to happen. I told people that last year.
Mm-hmm. Finally, a circus fight I can get behind. Floyd Mayweather versus Marquis Jackson. Floyd can squash or intensify his beef with 50 Cent, and Marquis gets paid. Who's that? His bum-ass son is 25 years old, still asking daddy to give him money?
He wasn't asking him for money.
He was asking for money. But listen, if you like me, listen, I come from a generation of children that did not know their father. So if I see it, you know what I was doing at 25 years old? Not thinking about my father and not asking nobody to give me no money. That's pathetic. That is some bitch ass.
But he knew his father, though. He's trying to get back in touch with his father. Come on, Joe.
He's trying to, bro. Come on, like you really
slack, bro.
My God, that is a man. That is a man that was raised by a woman that hates Curtis Jackson, bro, and he is weaponizing the fact that he's his son, and it's pathetic, bro. If you really resent your father, right? Like, let's say you grew up without your daddy, or you feel that your daddy didn't do enough for you. At 25. You ain't going, Daddy, no. You're not even gonna acknowledge him, bro. You're gonna be like, man, fuck him. I don't need him. I'm gonna get my own. I'm a man. I'm gonna get my own. For you to be on social media having arguments, man, like, get that bitch ass shit out of here, bro. His kids don't even know they father.
The old school mentality, though. These are different generation of kids.
I know they made out of pussy hair. I know you not wrong. All these young guys is made out of pubic hair from their mama. Soft ass shit. Leave that, you 25, bro. You are a man. Stop calling your daddy. That's pathetic. Ridiculous ass shit.
Quick question before you jump onto that. You know, we was talking about the Peds real quick. I want to know, right? So we said last 20, 30 years, probably everyone you suspect is on. So how is it that before that time, everyone could go 15, 20, 30 rounds if they had to, no problem, no gas tank issues. But now everyone who's supposed to be on these performance-enhancing drugs can't go more than 6 rounds before gassing up.
I'll tell you why. As a species, humans, and this is not exclusive to sports, organized sports, or boxing, as a species, humans have become weaker because technology is bearing the burden that we used to bear, which made us stronger. Remember what life was like in like periods like the Dark Ages or the 14th century, 15th century, 16th century. Most of what a man did was work in harsh terrain, in harsh environments, which made the men stronger. Over time, technological advances helped to bear the burden and alleviate that burden on the man, which in turn made the man weaker. And I believe that we are a weaker species now than we were 50 years ago or 100 years ago. It's the same parallel with old cars and new cars. You could fucking beat an old car with a bat, before you fucking put a dent in it. These new shits, they crumple up like paper mache. You could kick it and put a bad dent in it. Before, that shit was made tough. And I believe that applies to human beings. If you think about the working conditions, the environment, the terrain, yeah, humans were stronger as a whole, as a species. Now we are weaker and we need synthetic drugs to compensate for that weakness. I firmly believe that.
Hey, imagine though being stronger but living less time to being weaker but living longer. That's a mad paradox.
I'll say this, they lived less longer because they didn't have as much nourishment, but they're living longer now because they're not in as stressful an environment that will kill them. Think about it. You have central air conditioning now, so you won't get as much pneumonia. You have drugs to alleviate all your problems. It's kind of like, I know it's the same in the UK. You have the sheltered kid that's always in the house, and then you got the street kids. Because the street kids are always outside, they're hardened, they're exposed to bacteria and other elements of their surrounding environment. Whereas the sheltered kid, yeah, he probably won't get in no trouble up there in his house. He probably won't get in no fights, and he'll probably live a long time doing that shit, But if you let him out, oh, he's weaker than the other kids. Can't fight how they fight. He can't take the cold as well as they do, can't take the heat as well as they do, doesn't have the instincts they do. It's equivalent to an animal in captivity and an animal in the wild. Yes, the animal in the wild may die before the animal in captivity because the animal in captivity is pampered. But the animal in the wild, if you put him in there with that animal in captivity, he'll kill him quickly.
True.
Did you see Wilder crying on Ryan Clark's podcast? Wilder had more water in his eyes than Ryan Gersha. Well, look, Wilder, I'll say, I can only, say what I think. I think Wilder has PTSD from having been beaten by Tyson Fury the way he was beaten, and what he thinks of, certain people of a certain denomination. Because I don't want to get into that whole thing, but he does have a superiority complex. So for him, he's going to wrestle with the idea that he was beaten 2 times by this guy. He won't accept it, even though that's reality. It forces him to face certain realities about himself that he doesn't believe. That, listen, you thought you was Billy Badass. There are a lot of people like me that, no, I didn't think you were Billy Badass. I thought you were a protected fighter, a limited boxer who has a good right hand and not much else. You don't have a good gas tank. You don't have a good jab. You don't move your head. You look athletic, but you're not athletic, because athletic means being coordinated, like a linebacker being 300 pounds. I had a friend, bro, linebacker. This dude could outrun. It blew my mind that he could outrun me, because I'm fucking fast, and he could outrun me, and he was huge. All right, that's athleticism. It's not just looking the part. It's being able to perform. And Wilder only looks athletic. He has a piss poor gas tank, no work rate, almost no jab, doesn't move his head, doesn't slip punches. That's why Gerald Washington kept touching him with the jab, because he doesn't slip. You know what I mean? So to him, he probably thought he was the great. He thought he up there with Joe Louis and them. But you found out real fucking fast. No, you're not. As soon as you fought somebody that could fight back, no, you're not. You're maybe Wilder is B, the B minus. You got enough power that you can beat most, if not all, of the C class fighters. So you're a B, maybe you're a B minus, because a C class fighter probably won't get past you. You'll knock them out. But once you in there with that B plus, let alone that A, you lose. You lose every single time. You lose. The more I think about it, he wouldn't have beat Povetkin. There's no way. There's no way. No way.
Povetkin would have knocked his head off. Wilder got no punch resistance. You can see that from Eric Molina.
Mm-hmm. And the way that he fights, the fact that, remember, Povetkin is not tall, so you don't have a big...
I really think Povetkin would have took his head off.
You got a small target, bends at the knees, bends at the waist, fights at a slight crouch, keeps his head low, slips side to side past all the jabs, all the straight punches, and he's got a hell of a left hook. He's got a hell of an uppercut mid-range to inside. Wilder was not going to keep him out. No, because you don't move your feet. One thing I see about Wilder is he has heavy feet. He's tall, so he should be able to take a half step back and be safe. But because he doesn't move his feet, they get to him. That's how Fury got. Like, he doesn't move his feet. He sits on the shit the whole time. So a guy that's trying to get close to him, they can. He would have lost that fucking fight, man. He would have lost that fight. But anyway,
yeah, he would have been food.
Wilder has
food for Povetkin. He would have been.
No, I agree. Wilder would have been food for him, regardless of irrespective of the meldonium and the ostrin, because once again, I believe they're all on something. Could Wilder have been on steroids? Possibly. Why? Not for strength, not for that, to recuperate. He's had 7 surgeries to the same arm. Well, not even. It's 8 or 9 now. So I could believe that he had a therapeutic use exemption.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that Victor Conti blew the whistle 3 years ago, saying that Al Heyman requested that VADA not publish the test results for all of his fighters. And you never hear anything about his fighters, do you? You never hear anything. I don't believe it's because they're all clean. He would have beat the shit out of Wilder, man. That's just reality. And I believe the trauma that he suffered is because he really thought, oh, I'm just better because I'm just better. No, you're not. Sorry. No. Right? Period. How do you think that pay-per-view is going to do, man? Base?
I reckon 210,000 at a push, but to be honest, I'm thinking 100K.
Really? You don't think it can do like 300,000 on the premise that this is Wilder's big comeback fight and people miss him and they love him? And
you don't think that about Wilder? So I thought you were talking about Fury.
Yeah, Wilder versus Helvetica.
Okay, no, that probably, I reckon 280.
280? You don't think it could
crack 300,000? We've got a delay, by the way, so.
Oh, all right. You don't think it could do 300,000 bucks?
It could, but I don't think it will.
I mean, that would be I want to say that I think that would be a piss poor display, and that would show you, I mean, I'm going with a number between 3 and 4. That's what I think it'll do. But if I'm wrong, and I've been wrong before, I was wrong about Broner versus Pacquiao. I thought it would do way better than that, and it didn't. And that's kind of what brought me here also, that like for all this shit that these fucking guys say on social media, they don't fucking buy shit, because if you bought shit, that shit would have did numbers. So, you know what I mean? When I think about Wilder, I'm like, bro, this is the time for your fans. Never mind me, because I'm gonna be watching my man Devin in Australia. So never mind me, This is the time for your fans to show up for you, This is that time for them to show up for you. And if they don't show up, that's fucking pathetic. That you fucking retards spend all that time online arguing about this fucking guy, but you're such big deadbeats and bums, you can't buy a fucking pay-per-view. You're the one that likes him, not me. You're the one that's supposed to buy that shit. Not me. I'm watching Devin, bro. I'm watching some Sharonika Johnson versus some Susie Ramadan, and I'm watching Devin Haney school this man for the second time. That's what I'm watching. ESPN, motherfucker. It's an ESPN day on Saturday.
Look how many are going to show up to New York for free tickets. That lets you know that it's bad.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like, motherfuckers, like, a lot of that shit, like, shout out to Liza on Twitter. Liza be making the trolls feel fucking stupid, man. Like, I love her tweets. And she was talking about how, like, yo, they not selling shit. Shout out to my man Dragon Styles. Ow! I'm pumped, bro. Liza was laying into them. They're like, damn, yo, y'all not even buying tickets. It's fight week. It's fight week. Like, them shits, a lot of them shits should be gone. Y'all the main motherfuckers that love to talk shit about Canelo in his fight week, and he sell out. Like, he sell out. We ain't got to pretend. We ain't got to be silly or childish about it. You see how many people was there for Canelo versus Golovkin 3? It was packed, bro. It was packed, all right? But here comes Wilder, your motherfucking king, right? That's how motherfuckers like to act on Twitter, right? Like subjects. Okay, where are the minions? Where are the people? Where are the people buying the tickets? I'd wager at the last minute, they're going to comp a lot of those shits. They're going to start giving them out because because it's fight week and you haven't sold most of them. So probably going to comp them. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Is anybody expecting anything new from George?
Deception, baby. Art of war.
You don't think it's going to be the same as before?
I want to see Devin just maybe put one more punch together on his 1-2. Can I get 1, 2, 3, Jules? That's all I asked for, Jules. I don't need to knock him out. Can I get one more punch in the salvo?
You know what I want to see Devin use more? I just want to see him use more hooks and uppercuts because those are punches that, you know, if you can hit the guy with a hook when he doesn't see it, he'll go down even if you're not a big puncher. You know what I mean? Like, because he doesn't see it. He doesn't brace himself for it, so he'll go down. I would just like to see Devin employ a few more hooks, few more uppercuts, because he doesn't have to be the strongest puncher to do damage with those punches. An uppercut that splits the guard while the guy's chin is down and his head is down, that'll bust his nose all right up, B. Right up. And make it hard to breathe.
Just a little variation. I'm not asking Devin to knock him out. Just give me a little bit more variation of punches.
Oh, shit, yo.
But
I mean, like, motherfuckers is mad, you know, and I don't want to make this a Canelo show. I don't want to make this a PBC show either, because there's a lot of great things that are happening in boxing that don't involve the loser fan base and the reject fan base. But one of the main things that I see that people resent about Canelo is just that, like, yo, his fans show up for him, man. I don't give a shit what the fuck anybody's talking about. His fans show up for him at the weigh-in, at the box office, at the gate. These dickheads really find it hard to believe that a guy who sold 800,000 pay-per-view bars with John B., he can't sell more than that with Golovkin. Motherfuckers are stupid, man. And the stupidity they have, it's like it can't be helped. That's why I don't argue. Unless you're going to come on here and let me embarrass you live for the bread, don't talk to me on social media. I don't give a fuck what you think about boxing. I literally don't care.
Because Jules, what do the Mexican fans do? Don't they always come out swinging?
But it's not just the Mexican fans; it's the boxing fans. Yeah, I'm not Mexican. I love Canelo. I'm not Mexican, but I fuck with him because he deliver. He fight.
And you guys do more than cut hair, Jules.
We've been whooping ass, bro. We are in this bitch. All right, we got De Los Santos, we got Puello, we got fucking we got fucking Hector Garcia. We in this bitch, bro. La República Dominicana.
No, it's funny. I bet you Tank's fight in the Barclays is going to be a bigger gate than Wilder's this weekend.
Bro, if he even fucking fights, who knows what that...
Last gate he did, the $5 million, where they have...
maybe. I mean, wouldn't that be sad, though?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be sad? I mean, like, this is what and this is not trolling. I'm being serious. If you're a fan of Wilder, this is the moment for you to show up for Wilder at the box office and at the gate. Stop arguing with people like me on Twitter about where he should be ranked versus a Klitschko or a Joe Louis. That shit is not important. You know what's important? You supporting him, you fucking bums. Support him, bums.
You can't go pay for it.
I got this from my boy Jules that works at NBC Universal. Even they're worried about their jobs come the new year. So I know the budget over there is going crazy. The CEO stepping down. Who knows what the fuck happens?
You know how that shit looks, bro. Like, usually during a merger like that one, it's not a merger. It's a smaller thing being absorbed by a bigger thing. Really, it's a purge. Because all they're going to do is take what works. They're only going to take what works, what drives subscriptions, and they're going to leave the rest, you know?
And the guy stepping down is their most tenured executive.
So where does that leave Stephan Espinoza?
Or where does that leave the budget for sports?
I'm saying, you know how it goes, Drew. They're not a sports network.
No,
they're not. Their bread and butter is television shows, not sports. So and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be a troll. I'm not gonna run with it. I'm gonna just say that it doesn't look great. It's not a position you want to be in. It's just no, it's not. You
What
need a bigger budget
what Espinosa try to get a deal with the zone after?
as if
Well,
the zone.
Espinosa has to lose employment first before he even goes that route.
Well, first and foremost, the zone has to want what they have. And if the zone, this is not the zone of 2018 where they want to disrupt the market. This is the zone in 2022 that understands the market a little better. And they know that a good chunk of what you have doesn't move the needle. So we might offer you something for it, but it might not be what you want. Because you think that you're just going to get an arm and a leg for all this mid. Most of what you got is mid. Look, Ancajas versus Martinez 2, both fights. Those are great fights. You know what else was a great fight? Chocolatito versus Estrada. Better fight than that fight, all right? And they're not charging us as consumers an arm and a leg for that fight. So if you think you're supposed to pay through the nose for a fucking Fernando Martinez, you can suck dick.
I just look at the Matchroom schedule the rest of the year. Look, I'm getting my money's worth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all that shit that I see on Twitter, those are industry plants, one, and bums that don't pay for nothing, which is why I don't argue. I'm like, bro, Frank don't have a schedule, right? You getting Fury versus Chisora 3 at the box office.
How many people are going to actually pay for that fight? I mean, seriously.
No, do you know what?
And
I do have to.
I have a question though. Jules,
Yeah, so
Look, there's only one fighter on Frank Warren's stable that I love to death, and that is Raven Chapman and no one else.
No, I've got to give a little bit of
What about
balance to
Joyce?
this, though. I have to give a little bit of balance to this because Eddie, I will admit, is outside of the zone has got a very good schedule, like globally, but in the UK, he is currently fucking up. He's not delivering a huge amount over here.
Look, I'll tell you what. I can't argue that he's losing his grip on the domestic scene. I do believe he is, but why? Well, he's staging fights like Bivol versus Ramirez in Abu Dhabi. He's staging Chocolatito versus Estrada 3 in America. He's got a card going down with Mauricio Lara in Mexico. I think that'll be the second or third Mexico card he did this year. It's like he's outgrown the UK boxing scene is what I see, because he's not limited to that. Frank is limited to that, and you can't even dominate it. You can't even control it. Some of Sky's cards. Look, Scott, motherfuckers can say what they want about me, but this weekend's fights, Shields, Marshall, Baumgartner, Mayer, that's better than most shit that Frank puts on. If not, that's
give me a card. Give me a card this whole year that Frank's put on that's better than that card, Jules.
Yeah,
No, you
be
can't.
real. Like the only thing that I see that he put on that I'm like, yeah, that was a big show was Fury versus White.
But
No, he hasn't. No, to be fair,
Undercard was
Frank
ass.
has had some good shows. He had
Frank
a good
Warren has
show
put on
in
Base,
August.
stop it. Base, please
No,
stop.
no.
I look at the
I'm
quality
not a
of the
Frank-
undercard.
No, I'm not a Frank fan. You know I'm not a Frank, but there was a show he had. I think it was in July.
And
And
tell me that
everyone-
Matchroom doesn't have 20 shows just like that one.
You said name one show that Frank's. I'm just naming the one show. Like
But that's what I mean. All we can do is, bro, Taylor versus Serrano, Chocolatito versus Estrada, Conlon versus Wood. Can we stop this? Frank, you listening?
I
You
was
not
there,
fuck-
by the way.
Frank, you not fucking with Eddie, bro. I'm sorry. Motherfuckers can call me what they want, but I pay for boxing. All right, I am a consumer. The people that big you up on the internet, they must either work for you or they don't pay for boxing. But I pay for boxing, and you not fucking with that dude. You lucky that Bob is loaning out Better Beef because you don't have shit for Anthony Yard to do. You don't have shit.
Take Fury off.
And then Frank's
Yeah.
loaning out Denzel Bentley.
Take Fury off the schedule.
They both about to get
Just-
Molly
just-
Sky put
Look
on
at the quality of the undercards. Matchroom has some super exciting undercards with people you never heard of. Like, if you ever seen a Queensbury undercard, it's a snooze fest.
Bro, Queensbury undercards look like Bieber fights. Base, you know what Bieber is.
Yeah.
The undercard for Fury White
Like
is probably
people
the
fight.
worst I've ever seen. Probably the worst.
Like
one of the
Bieber,
worst.
like the best undercard fight that I've seen on Queensbury was Isaac Lowe versus Nick Ball, just because Nick Ball beat the whole. And I love.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep, that
because
was funny.
Isaac Lowe is such a little pole smoker, sucking Fury dick. Like I enjoyed every minute of him getting the shit beat out of him.
No,
Nick,
do you know what? No, do you know what good undercard fight he had? You know, Denzel Bentley, Marcus Morrison card. Did you see that card?
I think
What was it? Zorro Ellis and what's his name? Dex Spellman. That was a pretty good fight.
look, it's only one
I'm
fight.
just saying. No, I'm giving a little bit of credit where it's due.
I've been a Brit longer than you. I got to tell you, all Frank has is
Oh,
Dennis McCann. That's all he has. Dennis McCann, Raven Chapman, Tyson Fury. That's what he has.
Hey,
And I like Joe, but the thing about Joe is, you see what's going on. Fury's not going to fight him. I don't think Daniel wants a rematch.
Nah.
So what happens to Joe?
Yep.
Being
are they
real,
still doing anything with Kosobutsky? Because I ain't heard nothing about that partnership for the longest time.
Now, knowing that
And he already beat
no
Dubois.
one know about Frank and Bob Jules, they're gonna fucking put that Fury fight on pay-per-view over here.
you know what's going to happen? Arslanbek Makhmudov, Joe Joyce. Why? Eye of the Tiger management is in bed with ESPN, which means they're in bed with Top Rank. That's what that means. Joe Joyce, obviously, he's in bed with Frank, who's in bed with Bob, who's in bed with ESPN. Bob's network is getting bigger, which I credit Bob. I do credit Bob for this. Or ESPN is a platform for this. They're in bed with Yvonne Michelle. They're in bed with Eye of the Tiger management. Most people don't realize Christian Mabili is climbing the WBC's ranks.
Was he number 3? That was these. Oh shit. Yep.
Who's number 1?
Oh shit.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
Ooh.
Oh bitch ass shit. All the bitches gonna get exposed. All these bitches. Like, I'm sick of them. I'm sick of.
I love it.
David is one and done. One and done. After David.
Hey, Jose Uzcatequi's calling him out. You know that's gonna get made.
Oh, you know that's gonna get made.
But like,
what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when Christian Mabili come knocking at your door?
but Base, I have a question. How are they going to try to sell this Fury Chisora over there in the UK, and then they're going to try to sell it on pay-per-view here?
Nah,
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
No,
on
you
your
know they
side,
are,
but
Jules.
They,
You know
they
they are.
gonna talk about it over
They wouldn't
here.
dare.
It's the final, it's the final trilogy. It's the long-awaited. Can Derek finally
Long-awaited?
do it? That's how they're gonna do it. That's what they're
What
gonna
sells
say.
more?
It's the long-awaited
What sells
trilogy.
more, Fury Chisora or Wilder Helenius?
Wilder Helenius.
This is the problem.
Screamers.
This is the problem with Fury. Fury is still an unbeaten fighter and a champion at the peak of his powers, so it looks very bad on him that you're fighting someone like that. You should not be fighting someone like that. Whereas Wilder, as much as I don't like him, I actually think the Helenius fight is okay because I don't know what you have left. So that's the question that the fight answers. That's the sizzle that we don't know if he's going to be the same guy that he was. We don't know if he can throw the right hand with the same conviction that he used to because he got the shit beat out of him. You threw that right hand at Fury 4 times, dropped him 4 times, couldn't keep him down. So your fight with Helenius has a precedence. Fury's fight with Chisora has no precedence. No, that's not the only guy. That is not the only guy you could have fought. It's not. There are better guys out there than that. There are. You just
plus
don't
he's not
want
coming
them.
out. He's not coming off knockout losses. All that. So
It's the truth.
Yep.
There's a Geet Kabayel, but you don't want to fight him because the Brits don't know him as well. But a Geet Kabayel is a better fight than Chisora because he beat Chisora. Did you forget?
He's unbeaten too.
He's unbeaten. He's free. He's not doing nothing. There's Arslanbek Makhmudov. He just fought. You could have offered him the lottery ticket, but you don't want him. You won't offer him the lottery ticket as easily as you offered it to Otto Verleen because you thought it was going to be easy. Tom Schwartz because you thought it was going to be easy. You don't want nobody that's going to make you work, and that's why you're struggling to sell. You don't want nobody that's going to make you work.
He wants it easy.
You don't want to work for your money, so it is what it is. If it's in the afternoon and nothing else is going on, yeah, I'll watch it. But if it's a pay-per-view, you can fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
I'll go for wait, Jules, but what if they put Raven on the undercard? You gonna pay for it then?
Bro, I'll tell you what, I will send Raven. $25, which is $19.99 in pounds in sterling, right? $25. I will cash app her that, and I'll stream it. Right? Like, look, I stole the fight, but I wanted to support you, so here's $25.
That's fair enough.
Hey,
That's
Jules,
actually a good idea.
Jules, who'd you say is third in the rankings of WBC, Pavo?
Mabili is climbing up the ranks. Mabili, the kid from Eye of the Tiger Management that beat the shit out of that guy on ESPN.
DeAndre Ware. Yeah.
Beat the shit out that guy.
Mm-hmm. 2 rounds, right? Stopped him in 2. Yep.
And it was a beautiful beating. That's how Edgar Berlanga is supposed to be beaten, guys. You know, that's supposed to be. And Mabili, like, I know what I'm looking at. Like, the kid has good variety. When he tried for a shot in one spot, if he couldn't get it, he tried for the body. If he opened at the body or he stopped protecting his body, he tried for the head. I like the kid, man. I like it.
He's got the nice bob and weave style. That's pretty good.
It's real shit. Yo, Billy is a bad motherfucker. I already got my eye on him. Like, fuck Edgar. Feed Edgar to him, please. Please.
He's fighting again.
Okay, no, he's right.
Yeah, he's fighting again.
They got him ranked under. They got him ranked under Caleb.
What's his rank?
He's second under Caleb.
There we go.
Oh fuck, he's number 2.
Well, that's what I'm looking at right now on the.
Yeah, but this reality. Look, Kelvin, this reality. One, the promise is that she'll fight Amanda either at the end of next year or the beginning of the following year. Realistically, is Amanda still going to be at featherweight in December of 2023 or January of 2024? I don't think so. She will be undisputed by then. She'll be and she might leave. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, I don't know that she's still going to be there. That's what I'm saying. Will says, I think the next 2 generations of fighters are going to be real killers. Every time hard times hit, the fighters become stronger, which is true. That's why
I think once the market resets in terms of fighter purses.
That's what's happening. The market is resetting. They realize that you have 2 choices. You can fight or you can sit on the shelf and wait and waste your best years. You want to end up like Keith Thurman? You want to end up like Danny Garcia? You want to end up like David Benavidez? I swear to God, I can't be more annoyed by, like, I'm so annoyed by him because, look, I want you to do well for what it's worth. I really do. I want him to do well. But you're not doing nothing to change your decorum. Nothing. One and done after David Lemieux. Pathetic. And you don't want to get away from that shit.
And I tweeted something that I know I think he blocked me because I'm like, David, we want to support you, but Mexicans fight more than once a year, bro.
They do. Chong Sepada, I always go back to Chong Sepada because he is the poster child of that Mexican fighter that I've always loved. That no, he's not the pound for pound darling or the Olympian blue chip prospect. He's the fighter that fights and entertains you. He's my Mexican Ray Mercer. That no, he's not perfect. No, he's not the ATG. But when he fights, it's a good fight, and magical things happen, like knocking out Josue Vargas. That was fucking beautiful, right? Put that dude on quick street, quick fit ass.
He finished Vargas.
He's a Derek Chisora. Boxing needs more Derek Chisoras.
Yeah, and less Tyson Fury.
You need 1 or 2 of those in every division.
If we did, we would never be without. If there were more Derek Chisoras, we would never be without. Chong has a fight that isn't on BoxRec. After the whole thing with Ivan Baranchyk, right? Great fucking fight, right? He went down to Mexico in between the Baranchyk fight and in between the Hank Lundy fight and the Vargas fight. He has another fight that's not there. Knock that fucking dude out because fighters fight, bro.
That's how I know Zapata does cash fights on the under.
Yeah, it's not on BoxRec. The fight that he had in Mexico, but he had he had a fight because the motherfucker want to fight.
And that's fuck. Fighters fight. There's blue collar fighters. Yeah, they might not ever become a Hall of Famer, but if they're fighting 4 or 5 times a year, they're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna become a better fighter, which is common sense, really. It should be common sense to the PBC. You can't produce better fighters when they're not fighting, because the more you do something, the better you become at it. And the less you do something, Y'all gotta be good at it.
It's
That's
called
like
pride.
Derek. That would be like Derek Jeter only playing spring training.
Yeah,
And that's why
called
top
pride.
ranked fighters have so much success
Girls
against
here
PBC
instead of all-
fighters.
Yeah,
Real shit.
you got to train and practice in order to be good or great. And you got to have experience. A combination of all three.
I got
Now
a question.
we move to this weekend's card. Clarissa Shields was laying into Peter Fury earlier today, saying that he's in no position to say that everybody else sucks when he used to suck. Which I thought it was curious because this is someone that regularly takes shots at everyone. Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You said Raquel Miller sucks. She's an unbeaten fighter. She doesn't suck. But it's almost like she thinks that the only one that is entitled to have an opinion is her, which is ridiculous. And that she said this because she was addressing what Peter said at the press conference 3-4 weeks ago, however long it was, in the video today. And I'm like, why is she attacking Peter? Like, that don't even make sense. You take more shots at fighters than he does. You taking a shot at they posted Savannah Marshall's knockout of Lolita Musea, right? And it is true. Lolita was a welterweight. You know who else was a welterweight?
Say it, Jules.
Zen.
Yep.
And you couldn't knock her out.
Nope.
So it just looks stupid. They're like, yes, it's true. Savannah knocked out an unbeaten welterweight. But when you fought a welterweight, because that's what Ivana is not a real junior middleweight. She's a welterweight. She used to campaign as a welterweight. She was once IBF welterweight champion.
So did Hannah Gabriels.
You hit her with a lot of shit. You couldn't knock her out. In fact, she said Cecilia Breakers hits harder than you.
Ooh.
Said that. So it's just little shit like that, man.
Hope Savannah fucks her up. That's all I want to see.
I just want to see a good fight, to be honest. This is what I really want, just for the sport. I just want every fight to deliver the way that my homegirl Katie and Amanda delivered, because they delivered. It doesn't matter who won. It's great that Katie won, and I said she was going to win. And all y'all that was talking shit in my comments, suck a fat fucking dick, because I told you, bitch ass. Fucking told you, bitch ass motherfuckers.
Who got on here? Who got on here the other time and said she got robbed?
Yo, bitch.
Who was that?
I don't
Wasn't
know.
that
Live,
You know
huh?
what the shit is? That's the point. We gotta ask who that was, because I don't even fucking know. You're irrelevant.
By the way, newsflash.
I'm Ring IQ. I'm Ring IQ. Some people call me Julius. Some people call me Ring IQ, but you know me. But I don't know who the fuck that was. Irrelevant.
It was the how do you know guy.
Yeah. Dirk.
Dirk Burke, whatever.
Dirk the jerk.
No, I know him by the how do you know.
All
Newsflash,
right.
by the way, newsflash, almost stopping somebody doesn't mean you want to fight.
I mean,
Like,
look,
there's rounds
I'm
yet,
not even, but
so-
see, let me get to the point. I'm not trying to lay into Amanda. That is why most people don't understand why I be saying shit. That's why I wanted Amanda to have the fight all these years. Go out there and show what you can do, because when people see it, it'll change things. But you have to go out there and show what you can do. It will change things. People gonna think of you differently when they see what you can do. But you got to be willing to do it. And when you see Charlo and Benavidez not fighting, this is literally how I came to like the sport of women's boxing, because I saw the guys not doing what they need to do. The girls take risks and shell out great fights. So I figure I should start advocating for that so they can get more money, because it starts from the ground up. It starts from a grassroots movement of people promoting the fighters and talking about the fighters and anticipating fights. And I'm like, yeah, they do deserve more money, but things got to happen. And that's why I wanted to fight. Like, look, the main thing is you got to do the fight. A part of the reason the sport didn't grow before was because, Holly Holm never fought Lucia Riker. There wasn't this abundance of talent that we have now, that you can mix and match the names and you could get a great fucking fight every single time. So the most important thing right now is deliver the product, fight, because you can't get it all at once. You have to fight. You have to keep fighting, and you have to keep delivering a great product, because this is a business after all. You can't take your foot off the gas. If you want to change things, that's what has to happen. You have to fight. You have to be willing to fight. And now you see the fight that came and went. I think a lot of people who had a low opinion of Amanda, right? Because of her opponents. I think that fight changed their opinion. I think underneath it all, they respect her now more than before.
Oh yeah, even though she lost, her stock went up.
That's bingo. They respect more than before. It's like, yo, that was one of the best fights, not just of the year. That was a great, epic fight.
And Jules, this is what I'm talking about. Despite like, this is why I want to see like so many like these young guys like with their O's intact take risky fights, because it's not the fact that you lost, it's how you lost.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Yeah, like Zapata got a couple of losses or 1 or 2 losses, but whatever. I'm still gonna watch him versus Regis. I don't give a shit about that.
I'm paying for that shit.
You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Deed says, "Thank you, Al Heyman, for this daily bread." Al Heyman. Salute, Jules. Canelo has done more at super middleweight than all the PBC. I'm gonna go a step further. Y'all not gonna like this. Canelo did more at super middleweight than Andre Ward.
Get me started.
How dare you, Jules?
Andre being from the Bay Area and right down the street from Oakland. Andre Ward made his Hall of Fame on Euro bums.
Look, let me say this, Martin. This is why I don't say she ducked Lucia Riker, because she fought Layla Ali. It's hard to convince me she's scared of skinny Lucia when she fought Layla Ali, who's way bigger than both. I don't think she ducked nobody. Christy Martin is not a ducker. I would not say that. But yeah, like I seen a lot of the stuff he said, and I'm like, who we gonna compare Canelo to? Who is fighting all these prime fighters? That because I'm like, if you gonna trash his resume, then everybody's resume is trash. Then it must be, because everybody resume suck compared to his shit. If we gonna do that, and I'm not gonna turn this into a Canelo show. I'm just saying that in the 4-belt era, you had the same chance to do what he did, and the difference is he didn't let politics get in the way. He did what he had to do. He didn't have to go to the PBC. Man, fuck a Caleb Plant. I'm Canelo, bitch. I don't need no white boy belt. Fuck his belt. Fuck his red belt. Because you had one guy to go, Adonis Stevenson. Did you go after him?
Nope.
It is what it is.
By the way, Jules, quick question about Caleb Plant. His fight with Darrell, is that a eliminator of some sort?
Yeah, it's a WBC eliminator. It's
title or just regular?
No, it's not interim, because whatchamacallit is interim. That fight brings the winner closer to David.
Okay, that's what I was figuring. So
yeah,
so do you think like Plant's probably he's gonna beat him on points? I got him on points to win that fight. And if he wins, do you think we'll see him and David next, or they're gonna marinate that some more?
I mean, I think they'll marinate it because they don't have the budget to make fights in a timely fashion, which is what me and Drew always talking about, that they don't have the money to give you the product in the best time. Like, no, they don't. If Jermel Charlo brings you close to 1 million views, why is he sitting out until January? That's insane.
Yeah. And just go back to look at Espinosa. Look at what he's responding to on Twitter.
Hey, Jules,
look what he doesn't respond to. He doesn't respond to when I'm asking him, like, Steve, what's up with them what's up with them conversations that are having above you? Are you gonna have a job? What do you think of the?
Well, I mean, he's not going to answer those questions.
No, but I mean, like, when you going to put on an event like Canelo Triple G or Kell Brook, motherfucking Amir Khan this year?
Listen, Crawford versus Spence, for example, as a fight, it's probably at most a $20 million fight, $15 to $20 million. The fact that is not done after all these months, that shows your situation. The fact that so many of the PBC fighters are on a one-and-done schedule. Danny Garcia's on one. Thurman's on one. David Benavidez appears to be on one. Jermall hasn't fought at all. Jermell has, but once. That shows you. And if people don't want to see the forest for the trees, guess what? That's your glaucoma. Those are your cataracts, but those are not my problems. I see it for what it is. They're running out of money. And that's not good. You don't have money to do nothing. You have access to the fighter to make the fight. And don't tell me that Al Heyman is this Ivy League genius and you can't put 2 and 2 together that, look, we need to be in the Crawford business. Why? In the event that he beats our guy, we got another pay-per-view. We got Jermell. He's still at 54. He's still an undisputed. He stands a very good chance of beating Tim Tszyu. We talked about this. So if none of these things are happening the way that they should, like, look, Bob, for all the shit we say about Bob, things happen, his things that he can control, they happen. Loma's coming back. He's fighting Ortiz. The plan, put him in there with Devin. Things don't work out with Devin, we got Shakur. Devin moves up, we got Lopez. I told y'all last couple of weeks ago when Pedraza fought Comey, Lopez is probably going to fight Pedraza. Because Bob does things fast. Does things fast, or as fast as he can. And that's what needs to happen. This is a business. This is not this bullshit that people on YouTube make it out to be. This is boxing and this is a business. This is prize fighting. People forget about you very quickly in the sport. So you need to keep things moving as best as you can, you know?
Espinosa's going to have to sell his PlayStation to put on a fight.
Basically, motherfuckers going to have to start pawning their jewelry.
That's why Top Rank has been around for all these years.
He's been quiet all this long, and then Conor Ben pops, and now he's got something to say about Eddie.
Now let me tell more people on Twitter. Hopefully we can get some trolls to come on here. Get some trolls.
After that news today, Joe, what do you think? You think Conor Ben's gonna be out the ring for a long time, Jules?
Looks that way. Somebody has it out for Eddie. This looks bad because
cool. Jules, any culprits you think? I already know you think one. Anybody else you think?
No, see what makes it bad. This is what makes it extra bad. The BBBOC and UCAT are implicated in all of this. They're implicated because now people are questioning their ability to adequately govern the sport in that country. It looks bad that people are saying, wait, he failed the test and you let him fight? So now what they have to do is protect themselves and make an example out of him. They got to try to crucify him now to get the heat off of them. So I don't know how Conor's going to get out of this.
So he's pretty much a sacrificial lamb at this point.
That's what they want him to be because they're implicated. If you say that there have been positive tests in the past, but he was still able to fight, that directly implicates the BBBOC and UCAD.
Yep, not good.
Because you're the ones that are, you have teeth, you know, you're not VADA to where all you can do is read the results and that's as far as it goes. You have teeth to ban fighters. And if the story is that there was a fighter that he failed tests before, not just this one, and y'all let him fight, all right, well then y'all in some shit. So what they need to do to seem capable and assert themselves is crucify Conor. Hope he's got a good lawyer.
You know, Jules, that's kind of like that's kind of like just right quick, my man. That's kind of like my job. Like, I work in healthcare, right? I'm pretty much a customer service. So I'm an operator, and like more or less, like I'm not qualified to give medical advice on the phone. You know why? Because if I tell somebody the wrong thing and they do it, they can come there. Exactly. And then they can sue us, and you know, for like millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why I say, like, nope, let me get you to a nurse. That's it. Blah blah blah. There you go.
Yep. Smart man.
Yep.
Been that route before.
Yeah, I was just gonna say all the people who are mad at Eddie should be mad at the BBOC and UCAT.
Yeah, I mean, because they want it to be an Eddie Hearn issue, because what I see here is that this seems to be stemming from a conscious effort to cripple one of the fighters that he's grooming. It seems to be an effort to do that. And it's because of what I said at the top of the show, that, like, if you really think about what Frank has, he doesn't have anyone that could compete with Conor that's a young, unbeaten fighter that's showing, no, you don't have nobody like that. You have Tyson Fury. That is what you have. That's it. As far as somebody who can draw, you really don't have nothing else. You don't. All right. Now, that Conor kid, he was well on his way. If he would have won that fight, and I said that before when they were talking about the fight, that if he were to win that fight, you have the next face of British boxing. He would have been it. They crippled that. They're kind of ruining that for him now, because I don't know how he gets out of this, if he gets out of this. But don't you see that Frank is all wrapped up in it? In the Daily Mail article, there's Frank. Oh, we knew about a positive test. We heard about it before. Yeah, of course you did, motherfucker. You have friends at the BBBOC that feed you intel. It's obvious. It's like it's obvious. So I don't know, man. He's kind of fucked. Appreciate that Hot Boxing Minute. Yeah, no. But at the end of the day, I'll also say that Frank Warren doesn't really have fans. You know, Fury has fans, because if Frank had fans, his shows would do better numbers, and they don't.
No,
You know?
they don't.
They really don't. Like, I can't really name you 10 Queensberry Promotions fighters. I can only name you about 4 or 5. Fury, my favorite, Raven Chapman, Anthony Yard, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, Dennis McCann,
Zach Parker.
Yeah, Zach Parker. Zach Parker. I was gonna say Denzel Bentley, then I realized he's not with Frank. He's not with Frank. His last show wasn't a Queensbury show. Now that I remember, the last fight he was in. Like, bro, I don't really watch the majority of Frank's cards unless you telling me it's gonna be Raven Chapman on it or something. I don't really watch the majority of his cards. I'll look out for her, but that's really it. So,
hey, Jules, real quick. I mean, we're kind of off subject a little bit, but did you see Kellerman blasting Spence and the BBC?
Nah, I didn't. What did he say?
He was saying that basically it was a duck, and that he was blasting the PBC for not and Spence for not making the fight happen. It was a trip, dude. I was like, whoa,
I think I did a video on that already.
He did it again, though. He said it again in an interview with Andre Ward. I think it was a separate interview. But he basically says that, he thinks Spence wants to fight. He said he believes, Spence is a warrior, all that shit. And then he says it seems like Al Heyman doesn't want to make the fight because he doesn't believe in him, basically.
Look, we've broached that subject so many times that I have nothing new to say. So I don't even want to. I have nothing new to say about that. Like, it's everything I thought it was. I said all this on repeat, that balls to bone, there's going to be problems because Crawford is not dumb. He's not a bum. He gets more money up front than Spence does. He gets more money up front than all the PBC welterweights. And it's like people are just now finding out. And some people are doing what they normally do. They want to be in denial about it because they don't want to be. But I've been saying this stuff like, fam, he can't go over there and you pay him like you paid Porter. Or you pay, like, no, that stuff is not going to fly. Like, there are going to be problems, and I'm so over it. I'm like, bro, I don't care.
Me too, Jules. I'm past it. I didn't even care.
Ioka's fighting Joshua Franco at the end of the year, bro. I don't give a fuck about the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Ioka is fighting Franco, and Ioka is a 4-division champion, and he is getting it done. Enough about the guys that are not doing shit. Ioka's fighting fucking Franco, and Franco just got that belt.
But just remember one thing.
Yeah, fuck that fight. We're getting great fights.
I don't care about these once-a-year fighters, Spence, Fulton, all these dudes. Who cares?
Who cares, bro? Fulton had a lot of time, and if you pay attention to every video that I did about Stephen Fulton, you'll notice I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I gave him the benefit, like, that you want MJ because I believe he stands a good chance against MJ. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to let it play out and see what they're doing to make the fight. They didn't do anything. They didn't do shit.
Jules, we're not getting that fight.
We're not getting that fight, bro.
It's not happening.
Fuck that fight. We're getting Mayor Baumgartner on Saturday. Who gives a fuck about that?
It was a bad sign for me.
I will say I got information from Michaela's camp. I won't say from who. I'm worried. That first round's going to tell a lot if she's going to even have the right game plan for this fight.
Well, look,
from what I'm hearing and what's going on in camp.
Well, I'll say this. In my crystal ball, I've watched Michaela Mayer for many years. I don't hate Michaela Mayer. I think she's an excellent young boxer. I am Team Baumgartner. I'm going to let that be known. But I don't think badly of Michaela as a fighter. I don't. I'm just saying that if it's her plan to get on the front foot and step into her jab and bring over big right hands, okay, you're just making yourself an easier target because you're already a big target. You're a very big target, bigger than the average super featherweight. So if you want to get on some rah-rah shit with Alicia, go ahead.
Don't. Yeah, I'd advise her.
Right, Jules, you're in Michaela's corner. Wouldn't you just tell her to stay on the outside with the 1-2?
I would tell Michaela to stay on the outside, move lateral, walk Alicia into shots. Don't let her land clean because she's shorter. She's a smaller fighter, less reach, less height. I would tell her to box from the outside if it were me telling her the game plan. But it's my understanding based on my psychic powers that she wants to get rah-rah with Alicia.
She's going to try to bang in the booth, you think?
I don't think so.
That's
I think Al
Fellas,
Mitchell's too smart for that.
Not only her, but her
I don't believe the hype.
coach. What's her main trainer's name?
Al Mitchell.
Al Mitchell.
Coach Al.
The main trainer, but
Coach Al wants her to get rah-rah is what I'm hearing too.
Oh,
that's what I've been hearing, to be honest with y'all. And I could see why Al would think that that's what they need. Like, I know why he would think that, because Alicia's not really a combination puncher. Like, or at least the fights that are available for them to review, you don't see her throwing combinations. If you see the Edith Matisse fight, she was only throwing 1 or 2 punches at a time from the outside. So they believe that they can outwork Alicia, not realizing if you want to do that shit, go ahead. You'll find out. You're gonna fuck around.
And look at the shape she's in.
She's in phenomenal shape. She's like a fucking superhero.
She gonna fuck around and get clocked like Jordan Poole did by Draymond Green.
Bro, because
real quick though, just to pivot, Jules. If he got to see Draymond every day, right? You can't just fucking sock me like that and think
Draymond need to fight him every day, bro. He need to fight him every day,
right?
Because how you gonna live it down, bro? Like, what you just going? He just gonna drink water in front of you. You're not gonna say nothing. You're not gonna smack the cup out his hand. You're not gonna try to get that back, bro. He Chris Rock right now. He Chris Rock.
And then come season time, what is every other dude in the league gonna tell him? Come on.
That's fucked up, bro. He shouldn't have hit him like that. Yeah, you could have pulled him to the side and beat the shit out of him, man. I don't know, but yeah, man, I believe that what Michaela believes and what Coach Al believes, which I do understand, because if you look at her fights, Alicia is a sharpshooter. She's more a sharpshooter than a Gatling gun. So they think that, what we'll do is we will fluster her with activity. We will outwork her because of the Lenardatu fight. Lenardatu is a pressure fighter, but don't forget, you're taller than Lenardatu, longer than Lenardatu. You can't throw compact hooks like that, like Lenardatu, and you don't get in trouble. That's the difference. Lenardatu was a small target. You're a big target with long arms that she could put punches in between them. But you go ahead and you fuck around and you find out. I'm going to be watching on Saturday. You know?
Why wouldn't you just keep her on the outside and make her overextend when she's down on the cards and has to get desperate? It's not rocket science.
I think it's because of the personal stuff. Like, to me, what would compel a fighter to look for the knockout? What's got to be the personal stuff? You know, you figure she's talking a lot of shit. She's getting under your skin a little bit. You're going to show it in the fight. Because I'm like, look, Michaela's long. You know, if you stay behind your jab and move lateral, it's a very pesky way to win a fight, but it's effective, you know. And if she gets inside, you tie her up, you know, smother her work. If you want to,
I want to see AB work the body.
Oh, I'm confident she's going to.
This is why I want to see. This kind of reminds me how Clarissa said she's going to try to knock out Savannah. I want to see her try.
I mean, she says that shit every fucking fight, bro, and she don't knock shit out, man.
No, but I'd like to see her try though. It'd be funny.
But let's say this: if she does try, she gets knocked out. That's the dumbest.
That's why I want to see her try to do it.
Yeah, I think so. That's exactly what's going to happen if she tries.
If she steps into her jab and she starts trying to put more than 2 or 3 punches together, 3-4 punch combinations, you get knocked out because you'll get caught between the shots. Too many people get settled into ideas without watching foot. Oh, Savannah's slow. She's not that much slower than Clarissa, first of all.
No.
She's
and she has great timing.
Exactly. It's not that dramatic a difference. And more importantly, she's longer than Clarissa. She doesn't need to be close to Clarissa to hit her with punches. She can hit her with punches from the outside.
Timing equalizes speed a lot of the times too.
You know what I'm saying? Like they acting like this is Joe Joyce versus fucking Usyk. Like, nah, it's not. She ain't that much slower than Clarissa. Yeah, Clarissa has the edge in speed. I give Clarissa the edge in speed, but it's not a dramatic difference. You know, you got hit by slower fighters before. So Savannah, who's longer, taller, and younger than they were, hits harder than they do. She cannot hit you. She will not lay a glove on you. Yeah, I don't believe that bullshit.
And I think you made a great observation as far as like the length of Savannah, because I think at some point in the fight, she might be the fighter using her jab light on her feet, because she can do that. A lot of people really don't. A lot of people underestimate her ability to box. Like, she actually is really light on her feet. She can throw a jab from her hip. Like, she's a real deal in that department too.
Yeah, like people get settled into ideas because they don't actually like. Look, I want Clarissa to have fans for what it's worth, even if they are annoying. I want her to have fans because I want the sport to grow. But what I notice about a lot of her fans is they don't watch her. They literally, you don't watch her because you think that she cannot be touched. When I'm like, I've been watching Clarissa since she went pro. Yes, she can be touched. I've seen girls touch her. Smaller girls, shorter. Yes, all right. Hannah Gabriel's put the paws on her. But that's not the only one. Like, you're acting like Savannah cannot lay a glove on her. That's not realistic. I'm sorry. This is a long fighter, a tall fighter who fights on the balls of her feet. And for some reason, which is why Peter says it, this is a fighter that's fighting on the balls of her feet, but still generates enough power to knock you out without sitting on the punch.
They acting like Clarissa Shields, Willie Pep out here. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? She ain't Nicolino Loche out here now. Like, come on now. All right?
Hey, she's fighting next month, Edwin.
That's how I know that, or at least that's how I know that Savannah's power is freakish almost. They're like, you fighting on the balls of your feet, knocking girls out. You're not. Sometimes she's not even sitting on the punch. Sometimes it's punches that she's landing on the fly that'll fucking hurt a girl. It's like, usually the fighter has to sit on the punch, set their feet and sit on the punch to put something on it because you draw the power from the ground. She could be moving around and hit you with some shit and hurt you. Special fighter, very special Savannah Marshals.
Up close too. If you watch her fight with Maria Lindbergh when she sent her flying into the ropes, if you remember that fight, she was on the inside moving her head, catching punches. Like, she's actually like really, really underestimated, I think. Like, I still favor Savannah to win. Not Savannah, but I still favor Clarissa to win because of the pedigree. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of worried. I'm not going to put money on that. I'm kind of shook.
It's little things. I always, one thing that always happens when I watch a fighter, especially one that stays in character like Clarissa and Savannah, you get a mental image of their silhouette. Clarissa's actually more upright than Savannah. Clarissa fights at a slight crouch, bends at the knees, bends at the waist, fights at a slight crouch. Savannah moves her torso the whole time she's fighting. So that straight jab, it might be a little bit hard for you to land it because she's always moving her torso out of southpaw, out of orthodox. She do not stand upright like a European fighter, you know, like Christina Hammer, that she's really upright. She doesn't really move her head. She doesn't really move her torso. The way she gets out of the way of punches is to move her leg, kind of like Vosdick, that he don't move his torso. He moves his legs to get out of the way of the punch. Savannah's not like that. She bend all that shit, the waist, the torso, the hips, moving the head, moving the torso, getting like, nah, this is different. But motherfuckers don't hear me. It's all right. It's a great fight. Whoever wins, I just hope it's a great fight. That's all I want is a great fight.
Yeah, she reminds me of Bivol in that regard, where she can fight upright if she wants to, but she actually bends at the waist a lot. She has a hook. She has body work. She does a lot of good stuff on the inside too. A lot of good stuff.
And more importantly, she's that quiet girl in the class that the loud bitch who keep trying her because she quiet and then get the shit beat out of her. That's the perfect parallel. I have seen that in middle school and high school. Be some loud ass bitch. Keep trying to the quiet girl. Quiet girl don't want no problems. She just want to be in her corner. Leave her alone. You don't leave her alone. She gonna fuck you up. That's this. That's this.
She does all the talking in the ring.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it with Clarissa, like of what she said about Peter Fury earlier. It's like you could have said that at the press conference when he said it, but not only that, you basically say the same shit every other interview. That the division is trash, except for you, essentially.
Exactly. Like, how you gonna get mad at him that he said that when you been saying that? You shit on everybody, even people that you fought that she fought. Yes, Lolita Muzea was a welterweight. So was Ivana Habazin. What's the difference? She knocked the welterweight out. You couldn't. Not a single fighter you fought goes the distance with Savannah Marshall. Not one. Not one.
Exactly.
Not one. Nikki Adler don't go the distance with Savannah Marshall. Christina Hammer. Hannah Gabriel's been knocked out by a smaller woman than you. All right? She been knocked out. And it didn't take long either. 2 rounds. 2 rounds.
You didn't stop her. You got dropped and didn't stop her.
So, and I don't say these things to take away from the fight because, no, I love the fight. I'm just saying that I see people repeat it, and I'm like, oh, so you haven't watched none of these fights or none of these fighters, because if you did, you'd realize this is actually close. This is actually close. No, this is close. This is close because Savannah ain't got to hit her but once to hurt her. Just once. That's how it always happens. She ain't got to hit the girl but once. And Clarissa's not so slippery that she don't get hit with shots. No, she gets touched with shots. I've seen it many times.
Yeah,
but
what's being saying here about Clarissa Chill's opposition it's not about because Savannah knocks all these girls out and then he beats her. He beats Clarissa. No, what happens here is Clarissa Chill denying that Savannah Marshall actually has power,
Yes.
and is
Yep.
clear to say that she has power.
That's what.
That's it.
Thank you, Leo.
And
Because that's all I'm saying. That Savannah is a bigger puncher than Clarissa by far and wide. She's a bigger puncher than any puncher you've ever fought. She's a bigger puncher than Franchon Cruz. She has a common opponent with Franchon Cruz. What's the difference? The girl went the distance with Franchon. She couldn't go the distance with Savannah. She's a bigger puncher than it. She is the biggest puncher at or around these weights, bar none. But
it's the way she's knocking them out. Like the Femke Hermans fight, if you saw how she lost to Clarissa and how she lost to Savannah, it's like night and day. It's the way she's putting them out that makes me think like, man, if there's anyone that's going to beat her and not only just beat her, but like embarrass Clarissa, it's probably going to be her.
All right, let me read the super chat. Any word on super hot Senicia Estrada next fight? It's November on the undercard of Yanni Bekalim Kanulai versus Denzel Bentley. They are like that's situated. That's done. Will says, question, who's the strongest female puncher right now? It's hard to say. To the eye, you might think it's Savannah. But there's other girls that don't get talked about, like Gabriela Alaniz. She beats the dog shit out of girls when she fights them. Senicia is also a very big puncher. Jessica Bop of Argentina is also a very big puncher.
It's funny that she's a big puncher and her last name is Bop, you know?
Isn't it though? Like her, and that's what she do. Bop, if you watch her, most of the if she's not good for a knockout, she's at least good for a knockdown. And she's tiny as shit. She's like, you could put her in your pocket. Take her out, beat the shit out of all the girls in the room. Tiny little woman. But if she's not good for a knockout, she will knock you down. All right. Bop is another fighter. She's a very big puncher, but a lot of people don't know her. Daniela Bermudez, her sister Evelyn, they hit hard. And I would say the reason they're in the conversation for me is, while not all of their knockouts are as eye-catching as Savannah's, they do fight better people than Savannah. And that's why they catch my eye. They're like, when they are fighting better people than Savannah, and some of them, they're stopping them. So that stands out to me, that you're not just knocking people out. Some of them are actually pretty good. You know, like what Alaniz did to DeMarco. That she beat that woman from pillar to post. I had to put it in the highlights.
That's what you put. Oh shit.
That's how she won the WBO title, beating the shit. That girl that she kept dropping her and dropping her and dropping her. That's who that was, WBO champion. I'm like, nah, Alaniz can hit. Like she's a big puncher. And it's a lot of girls like that their quality of competition is somewhat better than Savannah's. And they might not just get a knockdown, they might get a knockout. So, you know, that stands out. Some people tell you based on the percentage that it's Savannah or Amanda, but the percentage doesn't tell you who they're fighting. You see what I mean? If you fight 10 girls that suck, well, yeah, you're going to have a high percentage. But what if you're knocking people out that, you know, maybe they don't suck, but you're still knocking them out? It matters, you know?
Yeah, I think Jessica McCaskill falls in that category where like people don't give her credit for the power, but she has that thudding, cracking power. She made her last opponent quit on the stool, and I think she got Katie's respect a lot too.
She made her last opponent retire.
Yep.
And Jules, before the fight, you didn't like her rides. Be real.
I didn't, but I picked her. Don't bullshit me. I did pick her to win.
You did.
Her resume is crazy.
But you're right. I thought it was going to be hard. I did.
It wasn't.
She made the woman quit boxing, Jessica McCaskill.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. You don't see that very often.
Rick, I got the slippers. I just want to remind you, Rick, if you're listening, I got the slippers. The box came in today, bro. Appreciate you.
Hey,
right?
I think Jamie Mitchell punches hard too.
Jamie Mitchell punches hard.
You can correct.
Vital Link says, anyone seen the news about Conor Benn failing a previous drug test earlier in the year for the same drug as well?
I talked about it earlier that it looks like they're trying to crucify him, and the reason I think is because UCAD and the BBBOC are implicated. You see what I mean? That if he failed the test, but he was allowed to fight, well, that makes them look bad. Like, wait a minute, you guys are supposed to be the ones that delegate and adjudicate. If he was allowed to fight, it makes you guys look bad. So now what they want to do is nail him to the wall to get the heat off of them. Like, look, we need a sacrifice. We got to give him someone. We're gonna give him because it makes them look bad. That so he failed the test before for this drug, and y'all let him fight so that he could fail another test.
Yeah, that's real bad. That's a black guy on any organization, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's real shit out here, yo. And but I do think that Julio raised the valid point that look at who Jessica fought, which goes to the example that I just gave. She fought Erica Farias. Most people don't realize Erica was number 1 at super lightweight at the time. She beat everybody else. She beat the only other champion at the weight. Unofficially, she was undisputed because she fought the only other champion at the weight, and she beat her, but they just didn't have all the belts on the line when they fought. Unofficially, she was undisputed, unofficially. And Jessica beat the shit out that woman 2 times. That's the same woman that went in there and beat Sandy Ryan 3 years later.
Yep.
Same woman. Look what she did to
Mayo.
Cecilia Breakers.
She has 14 fights, and she already fought Cecilia twice and Katie Taylor. Like, her resume is ridiculous for somebody with that many fights.
Katie Taylor, Erica Farias. Look, I love Chantel Cameron, right? I want y'all to do this. Watch Cameron versus Sanchez. And no, matter of fact, they both struggled. Now that I think about it, they did both struggle. Matter of fact, Chantel beat Anae better than The point is, she fucking hits hard, and that's the fucking point, right?
So Chapman's going to be fighting McCaskill?
No, Chapman is being groomed to fight Serrano, but very far from now, though. Very talking about the end of next year, bro.
Who is McCaskill fighting next? I know
Chancellor Cameron.
Cameron is like McCaskill.
That's what I meant.
That's a crazy fight.
Oh
man.
God, I can't wait for that fight.
Man,
That's
fuck Spence Crawford.
This one, man. She might lose this one. I don't know.
She may. That might be a pick'em. That might be pick'em, man.
Listen,
Chantel's a dog too.
I've talked to Chantel at least 4 times, right? And there's an intensity, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an animal. That's an animal. Like she cool as shit.
Dog, man.
But she's a fucking animal. Like you could the tension. Like she's a fucking animal.
So Joe, she up for it. She up for it. She up for this shit,
bro. She up for this shit, and she ain't with the talking neither. She not with the talking. Like yo, y'all can say what y'all want, B. I'm gonna save it for the night. Chantel with the shit, yo. She's with the shit.
Hey, man, fuck Spence Crawford. Fuck that fight.
bro. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying we getting B-ball versus Ramirez, bro. Like. Who worried about like I ain't gonna be sitting here arguing about these same 2 motherfuckers again? Like, man, fuck that. Like they fight, they don't fight. I don't give a shit, bro.
Yeah, we'll get Serrano AB before Serrano Chapman.
I'm telling you, because that's how ridiculous it is. There's no reason for this, but because you guys spent 4 years lying and bullshitting and just whatever, it's like, bro, and boxing moves on, roll with the punches as a proverb came from boxing, and that's what you have to do. Roll with the punches. Oh, no Spence versus Crawford? Guess what? I'm getting Ioka versus Franco, bro. I'm getting Hiroto Kaiguchi versus what's-his-face, unification match at flyweight, okay? Getting Chocolatito versus Estrada 3, bro. Getting Bivol versus Ramirez, Baumgartner versus Mayer, Shields versus Marshall, Cameron versus McCaskill. I got plenty of shit to watch.
We don't need that. We don't need it. We don't need that.
I ain't worried about that shit.
No.
What up, Jules? Thoughts on Tyson Fury fighting a washed-up Chisora instead of the other top contenders? You'll have heard me say this before. He wants a safe choice because their plan seems to be to fight Usyk early next year. So he doesn't want to be in a fight where he has to earn his money and get dinged up. So he's looking at a guy that he beat before. That's why he's not ruling out a 4th Wilder fight, because he wants safe choices. With Joe Joyce, maybe you win, maybe you don't, but you're going to have to work. That much you're going to have to work, because this ain't Wilder. This guy's an Olympian, in case you forgot. It doesn't get said enough. Joe Joyce is an Olympian. Joe Joyce has a great engine. Joe Joyce has a chin. All of that spells long night for you. Win or lose. Even if you win, you're going to get banged up, though. You are going to get hit. This guy's not going to stop coming after you. Arslanbek is calling you out. and now he riding your wave because you wanted to be funny with his name. He riding that wave now. He looking at you, bro. He climbing up them WBC ranks. All right, you ain't got but so many Chisoras to go around. You better fight Usyk next year. You better. It's worth it. It's undisputed. It's the outside of the AJ fight. It's the only other big fight you can have. You better fight Usyk.
Win, lose, or draw, he's laughing all the way to the bank, man.
You know what I'm saying?
He can retire good for the rest of his life. So, I mean, he's not going to lose fighting, no matter the decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the idea is to go out there and make money, okay, then you better fight Usyk because you ain't going to get Joe Joyce versus Fury is a good box office fight. It is. It is. I would buy that on pay-per-view because that's how good it is.
Yep, me too.
But you're not going to make with that what you could make with Usyk. That's the main thing. That with Usyk, you'll get something. Now the most money, is the Joshua fight.
Yep.
But y'all got between you and Frank and him and Eddie, the egos is like, bro, I don't even know, bro, because the ego.
I agree. Too many egos.
So Jules,
the broth.
What you said about the Chisora fight is literally almost word for word what Bob said would happen. So this is a quote from back in August where he said, if the winner needs a lot more time off, and this is in reference to Joshua Usyk, if the winner needs a lot more time off because of an injury and so forth, then there's a possibility we'd move ahead with the Chisora fight. We're all waiting for the fight in Saudi Arabia to take place, and hopefully Usyk wins, and then our path is clear. Of course, if Joshua wins in the UK, it's a much bigger. So yeah, he's basically been saying this since August. Like all the Joshua talk, it was all just smoke.
It was smoke and mirrors, bro, because it's and a lot of people don't want to accept that because people are childish, bro. Like, look, you 5 guys that are here on this panel are part of the 10% of human beings that are not absolute mongoloids. Most human beings are fucking stupid, all right? It's simple. This guy has commercial sponsorships. He has other money. So you are dealing with a fighter that doesn't actually need you. Fury's fans don't believe that for something. You don't have to, you dumb fuck. You don't have to. It's the truth. You cannot negotiate this fight as if he's Joe Blow from Romania or Joe Blow from Lithuania. This guy has money. So this ego shit, if you really want to do this fight, you have to put it aside and acknowledge that Joshua doesn't need me. He doesn't even need me to fight for a title. Filip Hrgovic is over there. He can fight him and get in line for the IBF. He doesn't need me. You have to negotiate on that premise because if you don't, there is no fight. There's no fight. And you missing the money, not him. He can get money fighting Zile Zhang, bro. I swear to God. He can get money fighting Zile Zhang. He can get money fighting Otto Valina. He can get money fighting Filip Hrgovic. He can get money knocking out Dillian White for a second time. It's the truth. You don't have to like it. It's the truth. You have to negotiate on the premise that you're dealing with someone that has enough leverage, they can walk away. So
exactly.
Yep.
Do you want to fight or do you not want to fight?
He never did.
I think that it was, I'm not trying to say that he was afraid, but what I am saying is you offered something expecting them to say no. You didn't think they were going to say yes. So when they said yes, it got awkward. You thought that they were going to publicly reject the offer because he was coming off 2 losses. You didn't figure that they'd turn this around on you and turn it into a game of chicken, which is what it became. It became a game of chicken, But initially, what Fury figured is, I'm going to call him out and I'm going to put the pressure on him, but I don't actually think he's going to take the fight. I don't actually think he's going to say yes. And when they said yes, that exposed that you were never really serious. You can't be imposing a deadline on Monday, a deadline on Wednesday. Did you do any of that to Derek? Why ain't you uploading 10 videos right now with Derek?
Saying sign the contract or else. This and that. Or I'm moving on.
I'm saying it's obvious that, fam, you was bluffing. And it never had to be that way. Like, I'm not unsympathetic towards Fury in the sense that if you need a tune-up fight, I do understand that because Usyk said he doesn't want to fight again this year. So I get that you need a tune-up fight, but you don't have to turn the place into a fucking circus to schedule a tune-up fight. No, you don't. You schedule the fight. That's it. You tell your fans, look, I want to fight Usyk, but he don't want to fight again this year, so I need to keep busy fight. That's all. I just need to keep busy fight. You ain't got to lie to their ass and lead them along. Yeah, I'll fight Joshua for free, but only at 60%. Well, man, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. Then he worried about Usyk pads. Don't worry about Usyk pads. Just take more of your own. Because I said that shit already. Like, yo, you dry snitching. Let's say Usyk on pads. So what, bitch? So are you.
You were on him.
You on him. Why you trying to tell on him? What, you don't want to fight him? You on pads, he on pads. Let's get it popping. Let's see who juice is better. May the best juice win. I'm going to get that put on a t-shirt.
Just let me ask you something. Like, you remember the Bumgardner Mayor Open workout?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that? You saw that, right?
Well, were you talking about the old one?
No, yeah, from like a month ago.
Yeah, I seen that.
What was your impression when you saw it, and were you confident in your pick when you saw that?
I'm gonna say that Michaela is a cool cucumber. She's a confident fighter. That's what I took away from that. She's confident in and that's just in her head, you know. That's her confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia is a little bit more passionate, more emotional. She wears her heart on her sleeve. So that's why she'll go over there cursing and saying stuff like that, because she's ready to fight now.
Yeah.
I want to fight now.
But like in the face-off, when I saw the photos, it's like how insanely in shape Alicia was. I'm like, oh, shit.
I told you she's a fucking superhero.
Woo! I'm like, I was saying like Michaela like that. That's when I made my pick different. I'm like, I got Alicia in this all the way.
She's a fucking Avenger, bro. Like she built like she about to go fight Thanos. She is with the shit.
She Black Widow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thoughts on Andy calling out Fury? My honest opinion, LR9, I could go for a fight like that. I actually think that is box office. I like that fight.
Yeah, buy it. I pay for it.
I would pay for that, but I don't really think that it's realistic, because Andy is probably on the shelf for Wilder. You know, like, remember, Andy tried to fight this year. He tried to fight Tyrone Spong on Triller. They pulled him out of that. I don't think he has the autonomy to take an offer from another outfit, because he tried and they pulled him out of that.
None of them do.
So my opinion is Andy stays on the shelf until next year. If Wilder wins on Saturday, Andy stays on the shelf until next year, until they can do Wilder versus Ruiz, because that's what's going to be next. In-house pay-per-view. The real question is, what network affiliates are they going to have next year? Is it just going to be Showtime? Because if Fox is out of it, you know.
I guess we'll find out in January.
Well, if Fox is out of it, then that's all they're going to have is Showtime. Well, who else is going to? Ain't nobody stepping in to fill the gap.
I mean, but
she's going to be on Fubo TV.
I found Ruiz calling out Wilder a bit funny, because
they're going to have PBC on the Cooking Network, bro.
For real.
On Cracker.
Premier Boxing Cooks.
What the fuck are you doing to that flambe?
PBC on PBS.
Bro, PBC on the History Channel.
Dude, I have
Discovery.
a question about that.
Oh my god.
Do you guys remember that guy, the Floyd guy, that kid?
Floyd Schofield.
Yep.
That guy. He was talking about the PVC contracts. I remember he said something like, even when the contract expires, after that, the PVC has the
right of first refusal.
After the contract expires, they can has the ability to match the offer if the other promotional company tries to make the fight with that fighter. My question is, for people in the panel or in the chat, is that even possible to do after
Yes. Because they agreed to it. Look, Leo, I could put in a contract if at the end of the deal, blase blah, Leo has to wear a clown suit and he has to sing me happy birthday every day for 365 days. If you sign the contract, you sign the contract.
You got to do it.
And
That's
they
shit the UFC does.
They signed.
But Jules, it explains so much over the years why All
They
these guys
don't
couldn't
leave.
take off. They couldn't take offers and couldn't find another networks.
And they don't leave. Like, don't you see that?
They don't go anywhere.
Think about it, bro. Eubank went from Matchroom to Boxer, back to Matchroom. Billy Joe Saunders went from Queensbury to Matchroom. Motherfucking Canelo left Golden Boy, went to Matchroom to PBC, back to
Matchroom. Yep.
Guys is moving around. The only ones that really don't move around, even like it'll be years and they still there, is the BBC guys.
Remember, Jose Ramirez went from Top Rank to the Zone back to Top Rank.
You know what?
No, but moreover, I'm talking about entering a deal. Remember, Josh Warrington, he used to be a Matchroom fighter. Then he went to Queensbury. He won the IBF with Queensbury. He was there for a bit. Then he went back to Matchroom.
Yep.
You see that it's guys that the multi-fight deal will be done, and then they'll go somewhere else. They'll do something else. Fucking Ricky Burns is with Probellum. It's like, yo, guys move around. But not the PBC kids.
Because Jules, think about it. Like, so Ruiz, he just called out Fury, right? Then you got David Benavidez calling out the winner of Zerto or Bivol. Well, this leads me to believe that they know their situation because they know that they're not that dumb. They know the situation, and this leads me to believe, since they know it, but they're just clout chasing. That's all they're doing.
Well, look, I firmly believe that there is a white board in an office, a dry erase board, where they map out the strategy. Stephen Fulton started calling out Inoue as soon as he was popping. No, you ain't going to Japan, bro.
Bro, you ain't fighting that guy. You're not fighting him. You're not even fighting MJ because you want to know the clue how I knew you wouldn't fight MJ? Why are you messaging Eddie Hearn on Twitter about the fight? Why are you doing that without Heyman or your own promoter or anybody? Why are you telling him like he's not your promoter? What does
any fighter, any fighter, like let's say that Christian Mobility, let's hypothetical scenario, Christian mobility mobility
school.
I'm gonna start calling him that shit. Mobility.
But let's say that he gets a buzz. Let's say he gets a buzz. Let's say he gets popular and people start, he really starts buzzing like he knew he's been buzzing. Watch Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. They'll start calling him out knowing you're not going to go to Top Rank for the fight. You're not. So who are you trying to get? Like by now, everyone knows. Even the other fighters know. Why are you even talking, bro? You're not going to come over here. And what you think? I'm going to go over there? If you want me to go over there, make me an offer then.
Jules, you know what?
Y'all make MJ. Nothing.
You know what? You know what? And Billy will happily go over there though.
Probably. Shit. Yeah, like y'all got Morrell fighting nondescript Kazakh guy. Y'all should have been able to make that Benavidez fight, man. Ain't no reason. Because even if because it's a mandatory, that's the thing. The Kazakh guy that he's fighting. But so what? If you beat David, you become the WBC mandatory for who? For the same guy, Canelo. You got a WBA Reggie, right? Right. That lines you up for Canelo. Well, if you fight David, he's got a WBC mandatory that makes him mandatory for Canelo. It's the same shit. Y'all don't want to fight.
Oh Lord, could you imagine that? David Morrell and
WBA
fighting for like a unification with like Reggie interim titles.
Yeah, man, like them dudes, they don't want to do, and it's like, yo, that's like talking about like a bad movie. You know what I mean? It's like, man, like what I'm here worrying about this bad movie for, man? Fuck that. Will said, I know the last time I went against a Capricorn and Parker got knocked the fuck out, but I still think May is gonna win. I think we see a lot of fireworks when it come down to the come down. Right, this is what kind of motivates me. A very green Alicia Baumgartner went in there with a bona fide knockout puncher, a very dangerous puncher, and even though she lost, she didn't get knocked out. Do I think Michaela Mayer is a harder puncher than Leonardo too? Absolutely not. No.
Did she lose by split decision as well?
Exactly.
Yes, it was also split.
It was a tight fight, and I'm like, the idea that Michaela thinks she could hurt Alicia, man, Alicia fought a bigger puncher than you. And for what it's worth, even though you have a better amateur background than Leonardo too, you're not more dangerous than Leonardo. Hell no. All them girls you fought, Leonardo too would knock their ass out. Another Dominican fighter. Y'all don't know. She's Dominican and Greek. We've been fucking people up.
Yeah,
We just
Medusa.
shit. All right, Medusa. She speak 3 languages: English, Greek, and Spanish. Bad motherfucker. All right.
Oh, Jules, how do I find that fight? I've been trying to watch it for a while.
It's on YouTube. But
it is the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Okay.
And if she could take Christina's best, I firmly, and that was when she was a young green. This was years ago. Alicia fought her, and Alicia was able to take her best. Here today, riding high as a champion, who's more experienced. I believe she's better now than she was before, but I don't believe you're a stronger puncher than Leonardo too. If anybody was going to knock her out, it would have been Leonardo too, I think, and she didn't knock her out. She didn't. So I don't think Michaela can knock her out. Michaela's best.
She didn't even stop Erica Farias and Jennifer Hahn.
I'll say this. Hindsight being 2020, at first I felt that she should have stopped Erica. At first I did. But then I saw Erica beat Sandy, and I'm like, damn, man, Erica's just...
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
Tough, man. Like, she's still out here beating people. Now, Jennifer Hahn, I think she should have been able to stop.
Did she drop her? She didn't drop her, did she?
No, she didn't. I think she did.
She cut her up.
She was bleeding.
She battered her face pretty bad. Her face was fucked up. But
I just don't think a fighter that keeps telling people, yo, after this year, I'm leaving super featherweight. After this year, I'm leaving. I'm not waiting around. That kind of tell me that you struggling to make the weight. Like, why you keep saying that? That like why
also you're a weight bully.
You're not gonna be stronger than Alicia.
She turned pro lightweight. She turned pro 135, didn't she?
The crazy thing about Alicia, she doesn't even cut weight. Like she could probably fight at featherweight.
Bro, that's regular.
And she hits like a
weight. That's regular Alicia walking around weight. That's not even. She ain't gotta make weight. That's Alicia weight. All right, stronger than motherfucker out here, bro. All right,
she's fought as high as 140, right? 140, right? She's fought as high as that.
No. It was that Leonardo 2 used to fight lower.
Okay.
Leonardo 2 moved up to 40, but she hits so hard. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
She hits so hard that the power went up with her. Like Leonardo 2 is. Watch Leonardo 2 versus Taylor. She gave Katie a hematoma.
Oh fuck!
Like she hits hard, and I'm like, bro, if Leonardo 2 couldn't knock out motherfucking Alicia, you not knocking out Alicia. Mm-hmm. And Leonardo 2 takes big chances. Like she'll lunge and dive and throw leaping hooks, and she didn't stop Alicia. So I'm like, nah, you're not gonna stop a better version of Alicia. Nah. If anything,
and I believe AB. When she says that, like she didn't have full camps for a lot of her fights. If you look at her older fights, she's soft in the body. She's not as in shape. Like I actually legitimately believe it when she says that.
Look, I'm very good at being able to tell when people are lying. That woman ain't no liar. She never had a full camp before that. She didn't. And
she had like baby fat. Look at her older fights.
She looks chubbier in the older. She looked like she's made out of fucking iron.
She never had a full camp before what? What fight was it?
No, literally never had a full camp. Not even for the Harper fight. This is the first time in her career she's had a full camp.
Oh, snaps.
What I'm trying to tell you, I'm like, nah, like, if anything, I like now see, look, Mayer's best punches are her straight punches. And watch any Alicia Baumgartner fight. She's bending at the knees, bending at the waist, getting low, slipping the jab, bringing over. Like, nah, I think she gonna catch her with some shit, some Ohio shit. It's gonna be some shit on that shit, right? Mario
by way of Detroit.
Mario. It's gonna be some Ohio shit, some Detroit shit, some little bit of Detroit shit. She gonna hit her with some shit, man. All right.
God, Saturday can't get hit fast enough.
But also, like Michaela, when she gets in the inside, I see her, man. She gets hit a lot. She gets hit a lot on the inside, and I think that Alicia's just a little more slicker. She has a little more flavor in her style, and that's what makes me lean towards Alicia in this fight.
I got Alicia, man. Alicia's a bad.
Lean towards her, Julio. I'm leaning towards her.
Mark Jones, shout out to my man Mark Jones, who's a very knowledgeable guy. For those that don't follow him on Twitter, you should. Very educated guy. Mark has Mayer, you know, and my thing is the only way I could see Michaela winning this fight is behind a judicious jab, moving lateral, and staying on the outside. I firmly believe that is not the plan. I think she's gonna come forward, and you're gonna come forward. You're going to fuck around and find out.
I mean, it's like it's a very personal fight between Michaela and Alicia and Clarissa and Savannah. And I just get the feeling at one point that, like, emotions will play a heavy factor into how the fight plays out. I could be wrong, but
I think in the second fight it's more emotional or whatever for Shields as opposed to Savannah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because
Savannah shows no emotion.
No,
right.
Yeah.
No. This is the thing. Different people are built different ways. Like for example, I'll use myself as an example. It's not good for me to show emotion because that means that I'm not focused. For someone else, that might be a strength, though. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For someone else, that might make them better. That might make them fight harder. For me, that would be a hindrance as in anything. Like if I'm showing emotion, if I'm emotionally compromised, I'm not focusing. I'm not on my wavelength. Now, with Alicia, yeah, she is more emotional than Michaela. She does wear her heart on her sleeve. But I think with her specifically, that makes her more dangerous.
But that's a strength. That's an asset.
Exactly. For her, it's a strength because of the kind of fighter she is, that she does hit hard. She is athletic.
Unless Michaela's able to like expose that somehow or exploit that somehow.
Bro. And with Clarissa, I feel it's a hindrance. Why do I feel it's a hindrance? Because Clarissa's strength is being a cerebral boxer, a well thought out, well educated, well schooled boxer. If you get emotional, you go in there trying to make a statement, you want to put 3 and 4 punches together to finally get a knockout and impress people, you'll get knocked out.
Yeah, you're gonna find yourself on the canvas.
Yeah. If she earnestly believes that she can punch, like that's like a donkey that thinks it's a racehorse. Like, you lost already.
I like that analogy.
Motherfucking Baumgartner times, all right? Saturday can't. Yo, look, I bought a whole fucking thing of beer, bro. I'm gonna be dead drunk watching that fight. 12-pack.
I bought a pack of O'Doul's as well. So
I'm gonna drink the whole thing here live, bro.
You know what would be hilarious is if we had an undisputed Reggie Belt champion.
Oh God!
We need a Reggie bracket. You should do a show on that, like a Reggie bracket.
Hilarious.
Like if a motherfucker went around fighting for all the interim titles, like I got the IBF interim,
the WBO, the WBO,
yes,
the WBA.
A Reggie undisputed champion.
Yeah, that would be hilarious, man.
I want to say this too. Kelvin makes a very valid point that one thing about Hamadouche, yes, Hamadouche is a hard puncher, but she's not a one-hitter quitter puncher, and she accumulates damage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Alicia has one-hitter quitter power. Like,
oh yeah, she lands clean. She might stop you in your tracks, as we saw against Terry.
Yeah, like in other words,
and Terry fights at 154 now. Like her power is legit.
Hello,
I'm gonna say that what we're seeing from Terry is not power. What we're seeing is speed.
Yep,
it complements the power she like. And I've always brought this up about both Terry and Natasha. If you look at their legs, they both got big fucking legs. Like their quads are huge. So there's power there, but it's also the speed of being the smaller fighter. You can hit girls with shots they don't see all night at 154 because a lot of them are slow. So they get hit with those shots and they woozy. Like she was messing Hannah Rankin up, man. Like hitting her with shit. Mop. Like, yo, she looks sensational, but Mary Spencer.
Oh yeah, she's coming.
Oh man,
she's coming.
She's Thanos, man.
Who?
Bro, she's gonna beat the shit out of everybody, even me.
Mary Spencer.
No. We need to start adding her to the hardest punchers in women's boxing. Yeah, because she's showing it.
She's showing it now. If she, who is she fighting? Who's she fighting? Because Natasha's fighting Marie-Eve Dicaire. I heard Mary has another fight coming up. And depending on who she knocks out, like I could tell that the power is real. That's a given. Like the girl she knocked out went 10 rounds, all of 10 rounds with Dicaire. And Dicaire got a quote-unquote knockout, which looked more like a funny stoppage. But like Mary knocked her ass out, bro.
Damn.
Out.
Had to put her in a highlight. I got to get Mary on the goddamn show. Ask her the spicy questions.
Like Tyson.
Look what Will wrote.
He would. That's true.
Tank will be undisputed Reggie for life. He is the undisputed Reggie champion. Bro, who the fuck said O'Doul's? You got the O'Doul's.
I said that.
You better drink some fucking beer, you motherfucker. Better drink some beer.
Tim was commenting. AJ is the one who got the old duels.
I did. I said it earlier. In case you missed out, I'm just fucking around.
Yeah,
I
drink some
duels.
Coronas.
Hell to the year.
But yeah, yo, it's just
Jules, like right quick, like in hindsight, that's actually that's a great win for Alicia because Terry just became a 2-division champion, like with 3 weight classes up.
That's a victory.
So,
that's why I couldn't.
Well. Yeah,
that's why I couldn't add Terry. Like I gotta wait this thing out. I gotta wait it out. If Alicia wins this weekend, she'll be on the list, and Terry will be on the list behind her. If Alicia loses, Natasha gets on the list.
Is Michaela on the list now or no?
Yep, she's at number 5 or 6.
So if she loses, she gets bumped off, right? Alicia takes her spot.
She gets bumped off. Alicia takes her spot, and I have to put Terry in there because she beat Terry. Resume is actually really fucking good. Like it's really good. She beat good people at 30. She just beat a decent that she was a champion. It's more that this is a fighter from 30 that moved up to 35, then 54. All right, so the skills is there because if she wasn't skilled, she wouldn't be able to do that. So if Alicia wins this weekend, it'll be Alicia and Terry that get on the list. If Alicia were to lose, I don't think she will, but if Alicia were to lose, it'll be Natasha that gets put in the list because Natasha has a great argument too, dog. Great argument, whooping all this motherfucking ass out here. Look fine doing it too.
By the way, Jules, you probably know these. Yeah. I think I asked you in the past, but like, does Katharina Thander speak Spanish?
Yes.
Okay, because she was translating for Horalina Guilini in one video. I think I'm like, is that
Katharina is from Norway. She's from Norway, but she was raised in Spain, so she's fluent. She's fluent in 3 languages. Plays the piano. Hell of a fighter. Transitioned from kickboxing over to boxing. The lady's like a superhero. Nice. She was supposed to be on the Conor Benn versus Eubank undercard. It's fucked up, man.
Oh, she was on. She was supposed to be on it too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. Damn.
Fucked up.
So I just wanted to add, like you pointed out that Terry looked great in her last fight against Hannah Rankin. I don't know if this is a bad omen or not, but apparently Hannah was working with Clarissa Shields in her camp. So yeah, I don't know.
They shot a lot of people in the foot with that one though, man, by him messing up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling. I'm like, yo, what I see about Clarissa is you're not honest about a lot of things, you know. These are not the deepest weight classes that you've campaigned in. Be honest. No. When Savannah said it, she said that shit 3 years ago ahead of the Rankin fight. That look, it's not a lot of girls at 68. It's not a lot of girls at 60 or 54. We have to fight each other. We have to. We can't stay away from each other. That's facts. It's not a deep division. The girls you fought, I'll say the good ones. Tori Nelson. She was a good fighter, but very old. Unbeaten, but very old. Christina Hammer, good fighter. DeCare, good fighter. Gabriel's, good fighter. The rest of them?
Franchon Cruz.
Yeah, but that was her debut. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, they debuted against each other.
That's true.
Like, I do think it aged well because, you did fight Franchon fresh out the amateurs and you were an amateur, but that was your debut, though. Like,
and I think she always had her number in the amateurs, too. So,
yeah. So.
You know what? I respect her accomplishments, but she's got an ugly personality and a big mouth. And that's what's annoying about her.
So every time she like rambles off, like she's like a petty child. You know what I mean?
That's how it reads. That like it's just because it's so stupid. Like, yes, Savannah knocked out a welterweight. Why are you acting like you didn't fight a welterweight? You did. Ivana Habazin used to be a welterweight champion, and you couldn't knock her out. You couldn't. So stop telling me about, that was a welterweight. Femke Hermans wasn't a welterweight. Hannah Rankin wasn't a welterweight. So she knocked them out. So what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, the whole thing of her coming out, the whole thing of her coming out and saying Canelo was a racist and all this other stuff. It's like, man,
that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
I admire her womanly features, nonetheless.
She has a nice ass. I'm not gonna lie about that.
I mean, it's like when she said that about, it's like, is she just saying this shit to like garner attention or clicks or some shit? Like, I don't
know. Like, sometimes I wonder, is she being the heel or? But it doesn't feel that like it doesn't feel like you're being the heel. It feels like you generally just shooting off at the mouth saying nonsense,
a bunch of shit that don't make sense.
Yeah, like The fuck? Like, why does everybody act like Jacobs isn't a good scalp? Before Jacobs was the guy that unofficially beat Golovkin. Canelo fights him and he doesn't count. He doesn't count. I'm like, fam, he was a champion. He just beat unbeaten Sergey Derevianchenko. He dropped him. But it's stupid, bro. It's like,
Yeah, plus he fought Caleb too, as I like to point out. So
yeah, that statement by Ward is just objectively false. Look at all the prime fighters he fought. It's actually a phenomenal list.
Yeah, and because Tim Bradley sometimes is in the comments, I don't want to go in on Ward, but it's like, fam, like, yeah, you a hater, yo. Like, you on some hating shit. Like, you auto, like, you can't give an even assessment of this guy. It's impossible. How could you say he didn't fight prime fighters? He fought Lara. Nobody wanted Lara. No one. Yeah. People don't want him now. Dude, Charlos never fought him. Andre never fought him.
For me, the Andrew Ward situation is similar to me to the Juan Manuel Marquez situation. It's like Juan Manuel Marquez talking about Canelo. It strikes me like, okay, I'm here struggling against these guys. If I'm struggling, it must be because the guys I fought are better. It's not because Canelo is maybe more gifted. No, it can't be that. If Andrew Ward is here struggling against guys like Kovalev and such, Kovalev has to be better than anyone Canelo fought.
That's it.
It's not because Canelo is more gifted, has a better chin. No.
Think about it. Ward was dropped. And I don't, because I don't want to make him sound like he's a bad fighter. No, Andre Ward was a great fighter. Yes, absolutely. But you were dropped by a journeyman, Darnell Boone.
Mm-hmm. Badly hurt, too.
Nobody dropped Canelo.
He was dropped before that, too.
He was dropped by Darnell Boone. He was dropped by Sergey Kov. I don't know how many times he's been dropped, but he's been dropped.
I think twice. Yeah,
because at minimum, I know it's 2 times.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you can't sell me these criticisms of Canelo when you know that he's naturally smaller than you are and he's never been dropped and he regularly fights people that are bigger than him. Because that's what doesn't get said, that Canelo's not a natural super middleweight. He moved up to that. He built up to that. You know what I mean? And it doesn't get said that this is not a big person, all right? If he wasn't as good as he is, he'd get knocked out. Do you think the average guy that's about 5'7", 5'8" can go in there with a 6'2", 6'3" Callum Smith and not get knocked out?
No.
And no, it's not because Callum's a bad fighter. We're seeing that Callum is not a bad fighter. He's knocking these motherfuckers' souls out their body.
You're light heavyweight. Shit. But I just want to say here now, if Callum Smith ever fights Joshua Buatsi, he's knocking Buatsi out.
Bro, the greatest journeyman is Burt Cooper.
Yes.
I'm not going to argue about that.
I agree with that. Burt gave everybody hell.
That.
He almost dropped. He dropped Holyfield, almost knocked
Burt
him out.
on cocaine is an ATG.
Had an absolute war with Ray Mercer. If y'all haven't seen that fight, y'all need to watch that. That's an underrated classic. His fight with Ray Mercer.
And Michael Mora.
Mm-hmm. Dropped him twice. Went to hell for 5 rounds, man. It's like Burt brought it. He brought it.
Nah, Ron, Burt was a journeyman too, bro. Burt was a journeyman.
Did Burt ever fight Michael Dokes?
No.
I think he did.
I think he did.
Fight Michael, you sure?
I'm positive. I don't think he did. No, he didn't. He didn't. Mike,
that would have been a great fight, man.
What I'm gonna say about Darnell Boone is that he had a really great looping right for a journeyman. It was a world class right hand, and I'll always give him that. That if he touches you with that punch, yeah, you're going down. But the thing is that when you're a fighter that has been downed, and you've been downed more than once by a journeyman, once by a champion, it's hard for you to sit there on a high horse criticizing a fighter who has never been down. And it's not because he's fighting bums. He's fighting good fighters. Miguel Cotto, Gennady Golovkin, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, Daniel Jacobs, who knocked down Derevianchenko, who gave Golovkin a hard fight, who took Peter Quillen out and around. He couldn't do nothing with Canelo. He couldn't do shit. You poo-poo all over. It's like, come on, B, you've been down 2 times. You sound crazy. You sound crazy, like low-key. And don't give me the gift shit. Don't give me the, oh, yeah, Canelo has controversial decisions. Yo, a lot of people thought your decision in the first Kovalev fight was controversial.
Tell
we
him.
can be real.
Tell him.
Right? You saying, oh, Canelo should have been able to knock out Gennady. You couldn't knock out Brandt, bro. Alexander Brand. You couldn't knock out. Is Alexander Brand of the ilk that Golovkin is? No, but you couldn't knock him out. So what are we talking about here, bro?
Stop all this. I wish he'd just come out and say I don't like Canelo.
You might as well. You training Caleb. You was training Caleb. Listen, you literally trained Caleb Plant. You went to the shit and all that. Well, you never beat any prime fighters.
Picked him to win by knockout.
What? He did what now?
Yeah.
Say it again.
I believe he picked him to win by knockout.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, bro.
I agree with what Tim Gallego said. It's a bad look for Ward.
It's just a bad look. Like, be gracious, bro. It's always better to just be gracious. Like, look, Canelo's a great fighter. He's got a little bit of window dressing in his resume, but every great fighter does. Every great fighter does. If the poster child of the pound-for-pound list lost at least one fight to Jake LaMotta, stop trying to be perfect.
Hey, speaking of old fighters, I found out why George Foreman didn't fight Ernie Shavers, dude. Ron Lyle fought him before Foreman and knocked him out. That's why he didn't fight George Foreman.
Shavers knocked him out?
Yeah, it was no.
Ron Lyle knocked out Shavers.
Oh yeah, he did. That's true, he did.
They fought just before Foreman and Lyle did, and it was not really televised. But yeah, he knocked him out. That's why Foreman and Shavers never fought.
I'll tell you what, if it's 2 Foreman fights you need to see, besides the Ali fight.
Lyle and Foreman is one.
Lyle and Jimmy Young.
Woo.
Speaking of old fighters, I just realized that Luis Ortiz fought Burt Cooper. That's how old he is.
Yes, he did, Jules. He did. It's not a lie. That was in like 2011, I think, yeah.
And the other thing about Canelo that I think professional fighters don't give him the credit because they think they can do it, but I think they cannot. Steve Kim said this before. Canelo Alvarez might be the last crop of fighters that are in that schedule, fighting like 3-4 times a year. With maybe Canelo's gonna retire with how many fights?
Maybe 60, 70.
He's a literal last of a dying breed.
Yeah, and people say, "Oh, it was in the right place in the right time." Of course, but this guy has been mostly of his life, half of his life maybe on camp, training, and all these fighters I see, dude, Benavides won a world title and gets caught by cocaine, and it doesn't make weight in the other fight. It's like, give me a break, dude.
The other thing is that they always tell this narrative as if they're this underprivileged. Bro, this kid was 15 in Mexico with red hair. I'm pretty sure he got into a fight every day. Every day. Why do you think that he has it easy and you don't? If anything, you have it easier than him. Olympians get preferential treatment. Let's cut the crap. Everybody knows it. We're not talking about way back when in the 60s or the 70s. In postmodern boxing, Olympians get pampered. And what was Ward? An Olympian. Everybody knows that. The standout amateurs get pampered. You think anybody was pampering a little ginger redhead Mexican kid in Mexico? No, they was probably trying to beat his ass because he got red hair. It's always this. I got it from the man. It's always just this sad rapping shit that nausea. I'm like, do you have any idea what it's like in other countries? That you think you have it so bad?
And forget that for a moment. Okay, let's talk about the injuries. Canelo has been injured on his career. It didn't take up 2 years to get inside the ring again.
He didn't retire.
Canelo Alvarez has won millions and millions of dollars. He has a
dodgy knee. He has a dodgy knee. He's had it for 3 years. Did it ever stop him from fighting? No.
I think Ward's bitter because he was in the wrong era, the Manny May era. He's just in the wrong era.
Well, it's not just that. It's that. Listen, you could have fought Adonis Stevenson, bro.
He could have stuck around and become undisputed. Why didn't he?
You 32. He's 32 now. 2 times as accomplished as you. 2 times. You's a champion in 2 weights. He was a champion in 4. You beat 3 world champions and took their belts. Because those are the only champions I count. I don't count former champion. The guy who used to have a belt. Who did you beat that had a belt? Ward beat about 3. Canelo has beaten 8.
Wow.
You know when the cap started to come from Ward was when AJ first lost to Andy Ruiz, and he came out and said, "Yeah, me and Virgil wanted to do what Andy did to AJ." Like, why didn't you then?
Bro, you could knock out Alexander Brand, bro.
And he's gonna knock out AJ at heavyweight, really? Like,
now. I mean, like, and I just don't like feeling like I'm against him. But when I think about what he said, because I liked Ward when he was active, and I don't dislike him. It's just that shit is like, don't be that guy, bro. Stop throwing shade, man. Be better than that. Stop doing that. You sound crazy saying that. We know what you're doing.
He was one of the first. So this is how young I am. He was one of the first boxers I was really a fan of, other than Mayweather, Pacquiao. He was one of the first guys that I looked like and actually understood shit about skills, and who actually made me go watch Roy Jones and all these other throwback fighters.
Yeah, this is one thing that has always counted against Ward for me. Shout out to my man Russ Pettit. Ward turned down the Butte fight for Undisputed because he didn't want to go to Canada. And I'm like, you see shit like that's what I'm talking about.
He'd beat Butte anywhere he went.
You had 2 opportunities to become an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era across 2 weight classes. You didn't do it once. Canelo did.
Dangerous. That's when it's pampered shit. It's like, oh, you don't want to travel.
And you know what? And don't give me the bullshit about Mikhail Kessler. But suck my dick, bro. All right. Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith are great wins. They were all unbeaten. All were bigger and longer than Canelo. He is a little man doing this shit. He's not a big guy. But y'all want to. It's all this shit. It's like every time I hear about this kid, they try to make it seem like nobody gave him shit. He's been boxing since he was 15. Nobody gave him shit.
That's why I couldn't believe Caleb Smith gave up his height and all reach and all that to him and let him just batter him like that. It was like, what are you doing? You know,
well, it's an awkward situation when the height differential is that much. Most people might think that the taller fighter has the advantage when it's the smaller fighter that has the advantage. And you have to envision that if he's short enough and he's getting here, it's going to be hard for you to hit him with those long arms because he's a small target that bends at the knees, bends at the waist, gets under shit, keeps the high guard up. If you throw something out there, your long ass arm, he'll punch you before you get that arm back. You know what I mean? So it's a very awkward situation when there's that big a height differential. What you notice about a lot of taller fighters now is they feel very peculiar trying to manage the distance, keeping the guy at arm's length. They feel awkward because that's what I saw with Fundora and Ocampo. Those first 3 rounds, he looked a little bit uncomfortable shooting that jab. I don't hold it against him, but he did look a little bit uncomfortable shooting that jab. The reason Fundora gives up that height is because it's easier to smother the guy, stay with him, and work on the inside. But you're giving up your height, though. You know what I mean? It's like a sellout that, I don't want to get hit with this overhand right, so let me stay close to him, because if I stay close to him, he can't throw it. He's selling out. And a lot of fighters do that now, a lot of the tall ones.
If he gets dropped again or he loses, he'll change, probably. So.
Okay, I want to say this. Do you remember, Julius, this guy, Dirk, who was talking about Benavidez?
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that if Benavidez wasn't losing his title, Canelo will never move up to super middleweight to make a campaign there. I think you don't remember this, but I myself told you that I was in a similar mind exploring that hypothetical, because I saw something like, okay, maybe Canelo doesn't like something about Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I thought in another hypothetical. Imagine Canelo Alvarez having the Marquis value of a Caleb Plant or a Billy Joe Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you this, nobody will fight him. Nobody.
No.
Not Golovkin. Not all these guys in super middleweight.
That's
Maybe the
crazy.
guys are like heavyweight, but nobody will fight him.
Thank you, Leo, because that's the reality. The only reason they want to fight him is for the payday. If they stood the same odds of losing minus the marquee value, they freeze him out. They won't fight him.
Look what they're doing to Terrence.
Look what they're doing to Andre. Look what it's like, fam. The only reason they want him, which is why I don't respect them. You don't want to win. You don't want to win. You just want to get paid to show up. You don't want to win. See, Bivol, and I said this in the build-up, I see a guy who wants to win.
I said the same. I put that on Twitter. I said, I see he's
got
that look in his eyes.
If you watch Billy Joe Saunders, he put up a much better fight than both Callum and Caleb.
I said
Much
that.
better.
He did.
I said that. Callum and Caleb were being bullied. They were being guided along the ropes and walked down by Canelo, whereas Billy has better feet than them. So he was able to get back to the center of the ring with pivots and shifts. He was able to keep it in the center of the ring, and he even had a couple of good counters in the shit. Even though he got stopped sooner than Caleb, and Callum didn't get stopped, but Callum didn't do anything. He didn't do shit. You didn't have no success.
For me,
Caleb
Billy
only tried to
won the mid
survive.
rounds. Billy won the mid rounds till he got caught. For me,
Billy was doing okay, man.
He was doing good. Yeah.
And a guy like that, to Leo's point, which is the best point to make, would any of these guys be lined up around the block if Canelo didn't have that marquee value, but he showed that same ability? Nope. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. Because if they're ducking Andre now, imagine if Canelo was the B-side. He'd have like a 5-0 record. Nobody would want to fight him.
Nobody would want to, because he is, and that's the truth. That's real. Like it's silly what it has become now that he's the face. And I actually want him go away, bro. Go away for a year. Rest up. Go away. And if their careers die on the vine waiting for you, so be it. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck their friends and anybody who looks like them. Fuck
I agree with Mark Jones. The 70s was a great decade for light heavyweights.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That's kind of why I was relieved when Manny Pacquiao finally hung him up, because now the welterweights don't have to use him as an excuse.
Yeah, I mean, it gets tired, bro. Like, everybody waiting. Like, man, y'all motherfuckers look stupid doing that shit, bro. Like, you need to fight. What you think, that you gonna get fans being a louse and ain't nobody gonna motherfucking notice? You look like a barnacle. You look like an idiot. You fight David Lemieux once. That's your fight of 2022. David Lemieux. And, oh, fuck it, I gotta take the rest of the year off. That's ridiculous, bro.
That's the thing. If you don't believe us, okay, but look how all these fighters are moving. How much they have to struggle to make fights against lesser fighters. And you think Canelo didn't bring all that money to the table, they will take that fight? No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. See, that's why I fuck with Leo, man. For those that don't know, I am actually half Chilean. We are very wise. We're a very wise people. It's because we live close to the Andes Mountains. We draw our power from the cosmos because we're closer to it than most others.
That makes a lot of sense now. That makes a lot of sense now.
There goes that shape shifting again.
No, I literally am half Chilean, though. Literally.
Hell yeah.
Dominican and Chilean. That's why I look kind of Italian, because it's my understanding that Chileans have Italian in them. Something like that.
A lot of the South Americans do. Uruguay,
I know the Argentinians do. I know they do. They're basically Italian people that speak Spanish.
That's probably why they're so distant. That's why they're so damn tough.
Yeah.
Lucy Fire Dodd says, "Look, Matt, Jake Paul Deji fight had zero power. Then his chin grew large. Then he KO'd everyone. Man, he's probably on Peds.
Yeah, more than likely.
I mean, shit, aren't we all?
I'm on him now.
Mm-hmm.
Benavidez only fights clean fighters, though, like Lemieux. He's probably one of the only natty fighters left.
While Heyman fighters face dangerous fighters, they all get popped at some time. I don't think any of those fighters are dangerous.
Can y'all believe I know somebody who actually had David Lemieux winning that fight?
Bro, I saw someone pick David. I'm like, they gotta be playing like
yeah, man. I hope he didn't bet on that.
Yeah,
Bro,
PBC fights are the easiest fights to call.
Yeah, they actually are.
Yeah,
they actually are.
But my picks for PBC was Saturday, Wilder by knockout, Plant by points, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think Leo said it best when it came to Robert Helenius, and this is the main thing. Robert Helenius put on a systematic beating on Adam Kovnatski in the first fight, and he didn't maul him in the second one. He still stayed on the outside, and he still boxed him, and it worked. But it's like if you didn't come into that second fight with a chip on your shoulder that you're gonna rough him up and maul him and get him out of there quick, you're not gonna do that with Wilder. You're going to stay on the outside, and that's what he needs to knock you out. He needs for you to stay on the outside, because from the outside, he can get his arm out.
Because even in a rematch with Kanagi, he fought. I can tell, like, he fought with more confidence.
He showed a little more, but it's the range that he fought that I noticed. That like you still on the outside though, like, and it's the right fight. Don't get me wrong, it's the right fight because Kovnatski is smaller, so why make it easier for him? You know what I mean? So I get it, but it's just I don't see Robert closing the distance and crowding Wilder to take away his right hand. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to box at range and he's going to get clipped. Maybe he wins a round or two, but he's going to get clipped. Like that's what I see. And I'm not paying $80 for that fucking shit. Like, nah.
No. Go to seat. All the seats except for the nosebleeds are still available.
That's crazy.
And they want $80.
The streamers are going to lose money on that fight.
Probably gonna curtain them shits.
They better, or give them tickets away.
Yeah, man. Do like the professional wrestling did in the old days, give away free tickets to fill the stands.
Fuck it. They might have to on Friday night. You might get lucky if you're outside of the Barclays on Friday. Shit. Because, and I don't mind the fight. Like I said that, I'm not gonna be unfair to Wilder. He's coming off of two very bad beatings, right? We know that. And yeah, you need a rebound fight. I'm giving Wilder the same courtesy I give AJ. That yeah, you lost 2 fights. You need a rebound fight. You ain't supposed to jump back in there with a killer. So I'm okay with him fighting Robert Helenius. I'm not going to complain about that. It's just I'm not going to pay for it because Devin Haney, the undisputed lightweight champion, is fighting that night.
I just don't want to see him get into a spot where he ends up being a mandatory for Fury and there's a 4th fight. I don't want to see that. I just don't. I have no interest. I don't care. We've seen it. It's done. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, if he fights Ruiz, I'll pay for that. If that's, and I think that's going to be the next fight. He fights Ruiz, I'll pay for that. Because
that's acceptable because
we got to see the undercard first.
I mean, look, if the main event is 2 former champions, and I think Ruiz, it's interesting enough that I want to see how this goes. See what Wilder has left, and see if Ruiz can get it together because Ruiz only has to make a small adjustment for a Wilder fight. The question is, can he make it? He needs to slip. You need to slip.
The style matchup is intriguing. I'll say that.
Yeah. Like he doesn't need to do anything crazy or anything dramatic. He just needs to move that torso or move your head, man. Because he's gonna throw straight punches. That's the only kind of punches he really throws. He throws weird looking hooks, but them shits ain't no good. Them shits is bullshit. If you can slip the jab, all you gotta do is slip and hook, and you'll get him.
To your point earlier in the show, Povetkin would have killed Wilder.
Kelvin says Ruiz gonna take care of skinny legs. Don't worry.
I mean, that he stands a chance. The fight is good enough for me that it's if Ruiz can slip the jab, just slip the straight punches, slip and hook, or get under them and hook, or get under them and come over the top with a loop and right. Yeah, he could hurt the guy. At the same time, we all know that Ruiz has drawbacks. He has heavy feet. He's not fast on his feet. Imagine him fighting on the balls of his feet.
Yeah, guys, do you think Wilder's gonna stop on Ruiz?
He could,
if he lands clean with the right hand, yeah.
Or he could break his hand trying.
Yeah.
I think Deontay Wilder is gonna win that fight if that fight happens, but I think it's gonna be a funny stoppage.
Maybe. I could see something like what happened with Davis and Cruz, where he breaks his hand on his head, and he doesn't knock him out, which is why I want to buy it. Like, I want to see what happens.
No,
By the way, Frankie Sanchez is fighting too. I got the NyQuil for that. So.
Bro, fuck that guy. Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
Heavyweight Bartholomew.
Go ahead, Leo.
I think Deontay Wilder is gonna hit Andy Ruiz clean, and it's gonna hurt him, but he's gonna throw up a couple of arm punches, and it's gonna stop the fight immediately.
Oh yeah, like Washington, because that was a funny stoppage.
You mean like you think Andy will get stopped on his feet, Leo? You saying or
no? I think this is my opinion. You cannot disagree. I think Deontay Wilder, for the power he has to be one of the worst finishers.
Oh yeah,
in the heavyweight division.
Yeah,
he doesn't know.
Yeah,
I think he can knock motherfuckers out clean, but if he cannot do that, the Deontay Wilder always finds a little bit of a pickle, and they stop the fight. It has a.
Oh, I think Al got him.
Al got him.
Damn.
Al got him because he
was giving away the game plan.
Gave the D.
No, but I mean, I could, but that's why it's pay-per-view worthy though, because I could. What Leo's describing is what we saw in the Washington fight. That he hurt the guy, and then he just starts flailing his arms, and he
was windmilling. He was windmilling.
He did the double lariat in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
He started doing that.
He took inflatable arm nails.
He fights like he's drunk in the club fighting over a chick, man. It's like, come on.
Fights like he's trying to swat a mosquito. Like
he looks like a sprinkler.
Seriously, if I was a trainer, I started shit like, what the hell is that?
One of the big car floppy things outside the dealership.
That's what he fights like. But it's weird because his form, like when he landed the right hand on Ortiz in the rematch.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Great shot. That was a great shot.
That was a great shot. That was beautiful. That was a clean, cold knockout.
Like he probed with the left. Let me measure. Bop. Got him.
Yeah, he caught him real good. But one, that was a southpaw. They're very susceptible to that punch. Shout out to Rhiannon Dixon. Clean it up because I saw her eat a lot of right hands in that Kiss fight. You're fighting a southpaw. You can hit him with that punch. But, Ruiz, what makes the Ruiz fight intriguing to me is that Wilder is not so good a sharpshooter that fighting a smaller target may not be a hindrance. It could be. If Ruiz slips a little more, bends at the waist a little more, that could get really interesting, man. I like that fight. I would pay for that fight.
Ruiz flurries, those could be an issue up close as well.
Well, I think once Andy gets on the inside, it's been one, honestly. Yep. I think the recipe to beat Wilder has been shown, like just smother his work and make him fight off his back foot, which he can't.
Which he doesn't have. He have no back foot game. He can't box, can't move. All you have to do is
shout out to Martin Munoz for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying?
If you pretty much that's why I can see him losing to Joe Joyce, because all Joyce is going to do is apply pressure. And what is
the thing is, how many of those right hands? The question with Joyce, which is also a box office fight, I like that fight. That's a really good fight. I'd pay for that.
I think that'll be like.
He would eat. Look, the thing is, Wilder's going to land the right hand, bro. He is going to land.
He would get hit. He would.
Because Bryant Jennings landed it. Christian Hammer landed it. Parker landed it.
Joyce gets hit a lot in fights. He does.
He does.
So
it's like, I would go into that fight confident that Wilder's going to land the right. The question is, can Joe take it?
Man, I think it'd be a Foreman Frazier type mauling. Like, I really think he'd probably end Deontay's career because the style is so bad for him. Like, Deontay cannot box off his back foot, and Joe pushes everyone back. Literally everybody.
But he does eat right hands, though.
One thing that he did in the third Fury fight, that when the fourth round, Fury was backing him up, then out of nowhere, he hit Fury with the right and dropped him. So it was kind of like a sense of danger. So, like, if Joe's doing that, he can catch him the same way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Joe doesn't move his head, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but he really doesn't. He doesn't. And he doesn't use a cross guard to catch it or a high guard to catch it on the arms. He look at the Brian Jennings fight. He was landing right. He was snapping Joe's head back. I'm like, if those guys can get off the right hand, Wilder can land the right hand. The sizzle is it going to knock him out? Because if it doesn't,
is it going to drop him? Because if it doesn't, why does it drop him?
But I don't see him landing the right hand if Joe's jab is in his face, and he has one of the best jabs in the division.
He was saying that it hurt when Parker hit him, but he was taking it, but it hurt. So I mean,
it's Parker country. It's Parker though. Like, you know, that guy's polite. His right hand probably feels like
he apologized after he hit him.
You know, I wouldn't want to get hit. I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit with it, but I'm not Joe Joyce. You know, like, I'm just saying that Joe is a bad dude, man. He's out here. He's painting pictures. He's painting faces. He fucked people up.
And he eats punches with his
putting video games on pause and going back and playing when he's done.
Bro, the dude literally paused the game, beat Dubois, came back, unpaused the game, and finished the pizza. This dude is a fucking legend.
That's epic shit right there.
Like, yo, I'm gonna pause this shit. I gotta go fuck up Daniel. All right, pizza's still sitting there on the dresser. Like, yo, this dude is the best, yo.
The pizza was still hot.
That's crazy. Like, how you gonna do that? All right. On that note, ladies and germs, we out for the night. Thank you for coming on. I will be going live this Saturday for this weekend's festivities. It's gonna be an all day of action. Yeah, I might go live for Devin Haney versus George too. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all take it easy.
Yeah. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks for having me on. Have a good night, fellas.
Catch y'all in the next one.